Boom, perfect timing. All right. I think so. We'll have to double check. It says so. You got to turn on the energy. You got to hit the snap. All right. I think we're live. Let me quadruple check. Hang on. Let me make sure everyone can hear you, because you remember what happened a few weeks ago. Yep. See, hang on. It's doing that. So I know, chat. I know. Before you say anything, let me fix the audio. I don't know why it does this, but it does. They cannot hear you, according to what I just saw. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to turn that, disable that, apply that, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to default that, and apply. Hit OK. Now I'll say something.
All right.
You're a piece of work trying to silence us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's working now. I don't know why it does that, chat. I'm sorry. Anyway, welcome to Real Deal Xbox Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining us as we kind of ramp up. We got some pretty interesting topics today. Legitimately, some interesting stuff, and even some of it carrying over from last week, Fawn. So, but if you haven't looked through those, please do, because I want your take on some of that stuff. But again, guys, thank you for joining us. Hit the like button if you haven't. Tell a buddy. Share it out. We do appreciate it. While we let some people file in, we'll do some introductions and some shout-outs, and inject some vitamin C into everybody's blood veins. That's kind of gross. Hey, let's go ahead and do some introductions. Hey, Fonz, how you been, buddy?
I've been good. It was great this week because I just started my live stream Sunday. If you guys don't know out there, I started my own little live stream. Every other Sunday, I'm going live one-on-one with a guest. And this week I had Chris Grinnell on, and it was great. We had a great talk. And shout out to the Iron Lords for shouting me out and getting me, more people in the audience than I expected, to be honest. I was really, really thankful to them for that. So thank you, Cognito, King, Sov, Addict, all you guys, man. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you so much. And that's what it's all about, just uplifting each other in this community. And I really appreciate what they did there. But yeah, I had a great time with Chris, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks to do that again on a Sunday. And it was just really fun.
So how
and the
been,
production
Fonz?
quality was really good. Quality was good. I gotta say that about his show. Sorry, his production quality was off the charts. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
It always is.
Yeah, no, his setup, everything in the background with the little thing, everything was really cool. Fonz, I enjoyed.
I appreciate that, Zocker.
So how'd you? We'll come at it. We'll come back to it at the end of the show.
Yeah, no problem.
But yeah, I mean, seriously.
Other than that, I've been playing Octopath Traveler, JRPG that's, sprite based. Doesn't look really that great, but it's fun. So I'm having a blast with that. In Game Pass, by the way. In Game Pass.
Well, we got some Game Pass stuff coming up, and we're going to go over all that stuff towards the end of the show. And again, I did check out a pretty big chunk of your show, actually. I think I left a comment. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I did watch a big chunk of it, and seriously, good stuff.
Appreciate
honestly. Hey, we've also got... is D-Batch in here yet? I don't
think
so. No, he's not. D-Batch, I guess he... I don't know. He did a backflip out the window. I don't know where he's at. Zucker, how you been, buddy?
I'm doing really good, man. Actually, I was looking forward to today. I had a long day, a long week at work already, but I was really looking forward to the podcast, talking to everybody. Colt's not here, so that's a plus. Lol. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, but you know what the worst thing is? I went to my my fridge to get baby carrots, and I don't have any. So now I'm pissed off. I don't got my baby carrots here, ready to start this podcast, get my energy going. So, but I'm looking forward to talking about all these topics and making some people look real stupid because, that's what they do.
Oh, shit. Well, store up the energy from the baby carrots, okay? Hey, Tim Dog, how you been, buddy?
Very good. Happy to be here. Sorry about last week, but really happy to be here. And I think we're going to have a really good show. We have a lot of good topics. Some news just came down. Overall attitude at Xbox is very confident right now. We're going to get into it.
We are. We're going to get into it. We've also got Mr. K Mega from the GRG podcast. We've known K Mega for about 50 decades now. We go way back. Tim and K Mega go back even further. And seriously, K Mega, I was on your show last week, and I was thinking to myself, man, he's gotten. He's come forward with the times, just like the rest of us. He's gotten even better than he was. So thank you for joining us on RDX, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thank you for the invite, man. It's a pleasure, man. I was just like when I posted it, I was like, man, the last time that I was on this podcast, it was just when you guys was kicking it off. Now I'm looking at it now, and it's just it was pretty amazing what you guys have done, man. So salute to you guys and what y'all been doing, man. I know that the gaming community really loves y'all's podcast, man, and so I'm just glad to be here and give my voice, man. So thank you for inviting me.
Well, we're happy to have you, man. And again, you know, I don't know why people listen to the show, but some of them do, and we do appreciate them. Seriously, guys, those that are here, thank you.
Can I just say something real quick about Mega? Mega, you know, was the first person in this community that gave me a shot on a community podcast and on the GRG podcast. And man, you really don't, maybe you don't know this, K Mega, but I really do appreciate that, man. And I really do have a lot of respect for you. And I really appreciate you being here tonight, man.
Thank you so much, Fonz, man. I mean, look, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I mean, for everybody who's been on GRG from past and present, I mean, the pleasure was all mine because all you guys were talented. You know, 100. You know, what I'm saying, all day. You, Livewire. You know, and now the people who's here now is, you know, from even Kaleidoscope, who came on for a little short stint.
You can't forget about Chuck.
Yeah, oh, no. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, D and Lady Infamous, and then now we got One Away Dragon. We have PK Live. We got 6 players. Just like what you know, and Operation Op is still around, but he's working. And then we got Bloody Knuckles. Man, and then we also have, you know, a couple of new ladies that's going to be coming on into another new project that I'm going to be doing. But you got to meet her Friday night, Dealer, and that was D, and she's really talented, and Minchie dies a lot. So, yeah, man, I mean, I've just been blessed, man. I've been blessed and fortunate. I mean, GRG been on for 4 years. I thought, like, when we first started Fonz, when I was having those issues coming from work and then just trying to set it up, and I'm like, oh, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. But, I mean, thank you guys for supporting me. And, you know, hey, man, Fonz, I wish you and everybody else what y'all been doing, man. It's been amazing, man. I'm really happy for
That's
you guys.
how me and Fonz met as well. But seriously, we're going to save the stuff towards the end of the show.
That's where we met.
We got to save the stuff towards the end of the show and get into it like we do and try not to keep these guys waiting before they start throwing rocks at us and stuff like that. So, again, thanks to everyone. I think D's showing up. I haven't heard otherwise, so maybe tweet
He said he's 8 minutes away.
Okay, 8 minutes away. D is 8 minutes away. Very specific, D.
Right?
D-Bag.
I know. He put that in there, and I'm like, really? 8? Like,
He's
damn.
approximately 8 minutes away. Let me give some shout-outs here real quick before we get into the topics of the show, if I can find the stupid tab. And I will start with my patron shout-out here, okay? We are running a little bit late today, guys. So, yeah, we're getting into it. Johnny No Life, shout out to you, brother. Max Power Plays, Faultline Z, Fierce Fuzz, Mega Life CBD. That always gets me.com. We've also got Not Silik. We've got Alex Emery, Elk Dude YouTube, God's Geeks, Bad Boy Live, Achievement, yes. Nano Polymath, Zordon, Costanza, Wayne, Scott Trooper 74, KY Bob. Shout out to you. I know you're in the chat, buddy. Wakanda XNT, Goose 8402, Straw Hat Khalifa, Assassin Lupa, also in the chat. Foreign Object, Gab Quizteo, John Blue. And we've also got Vec Boss, DVDR X, Real Deal Nail, Suicide King, Tasteless Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, as well as All Might Gaz, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan. Thank you guys so much for what you do. As we talk about the Deutsch 5 developer who what did he do? He people's elbowed like 100 million people that were talking shit about Game Pass, right? Basically saying,
pretty much.
What was it? Bonds, you've been a big proponent of Game Pass for quite a while. Like, you've jumped in there and you've kind of like, wow, this is amazing. This developer comes out and once again takes a rocket launcher and shoots these guys out of the sky when they're just saying all this negative stuff about Game Pass. Now it ruins games and devalues things, and developers, they don't benefit from it.
Funny thing about that is I used to be one of those guys who thought that Game Pass would be that way until I experienced Game Pass. And then I was like, oh, wow, I get to play all this and for this price every month. Oh, okay, I'm in. And it's been wonderful. And the Dirt 5 developer was on Go Live on Game on Daily's channel. And it was pretty interesting because I'm sitting there watching it and I'm listening to this guy, and Gaz, he asks really good questions to these devs. And he asked them straight up, hey, how's the impact been with, your game, Dirt 5, going into Game Pass? And the developer basically just said that they've seen the numbers soar, whether that be freaking just the engagement and the sales as well, as it's been since it's been in Game Pass. And
the
I was
sales?
just like, the sales as well.
What do you mean, the sales went up and they could just get it for free in Game Pass?
Sales, exactly.
Oh
the
my
sales
God.
went up. This is what the Dirt 5 technical director said. David Springate, I believe his name is. And yeah, he said this, and I recorded it right away, and I put it out on Twitter, and I was like, check this out. This is pretty interesting, guys. And this is not something we haven't heard before from other developers, but it was just something that, hey, I could put this out there right now, show you from the horse's mouth. There's still some naysayers out there who like to talk against what these people have to say, but a developer is not going to lie about that. It just makes no sense to.
Yeah, if it was negative,
and I feel like we're beating a freaking dead horse at this point, right? Like,
really,
we have so many developers coming out and saying, "Hey, yeah, Game Pass was great," and in the beginning, like everybody else, developers were probably skeptical about it. Like, they were probably like, "I don't know," and then once they saw all this data, there's a reason why this many games are coming to Game Pass day and date, and not just first party, but third party.
Yep.
Get your head out of your ass. This is actually working. So Xbox has the data to prove that it's working well. Outriders, one of the biggest games to release this year, has sold extremely well. Is number 2 or 3 on Xbox charts, and is on Game Pass.
Tucker, how can
do you
that be, though?
that?
We got to double back, because every time we talked about how Game Pass actually increases sales, people just don't believe what we're saying or what these developers are saying.
It's not that they don't believe it; they just don't want to hear it. That's the thing. They're just nah, let me just turn into an ostrich and bury my head in the sand like a jackass, and then find out I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. That's
why don't they want to hear it, though? That's my question. Why don't they want to hear that?
Because one platform has better value than the other.
Oh shit!
It comes down to the success of Xbox. Some of these guys just do not want to see Xbox succeed at anything, and they're hell-bent on making it a point that they will never succeed. And it just isn't the case, especially lately with all the good news and everything that we've been getting out of Xbox, and all the pro-consumerism stuff going on with Xbox. And then you look at the other side, you're like, okay, well, old Jim, Loose Lips Ryan is promising things again. We'll see if he can keep it this time.
Hang on, he sold me a PS Vita dev kit.
Yeah, yeah, and now he's promising, hey, we're working on even more exclusive games than ever on the PS5. It's like, dude, you also said #generations.
Oh shit!
What happened there?
Well, it's not just that fun. It's not. It is the success of Xbox or whatever, but it's also the if you look at Forbes, Kotaku, a lot of these big media types that really were harsh on Xbox for an entire generation, basically, are actually flipping and being like, all right, well, we just can't deny it. Like the value is there. It's over. That's all they're saying. The value at Xbox is insane. They keep going back to Xbox to the point where even me, who I'm looking forward to Returnal, I'm looking forward to Ratchet and Clank. I love, the PS5 and what it can provide me. But at the same time, I haven't played my PS5 in 5 months because there's nothing there for me to play.
Holy crap,
all the while,
5 months.
And that was the reason for me for why I was holding back on the PlayStation 5 until probably next year. But once the whole vibe got killed for me was when the developers of Gears Tactics came out and said Game Pass gives them so much more flexibility, because if they had to go to the publisher and tell them and ask them, hey, we have this idea for this game, then it could have got rejected. But because Game Pass gives this an option, it made them say, well, okay, well, this could be a game that we can put on PC first, and then we can go ahead and then put it on Game Pass later. Voila, the game I think was a success, or I know that it's really popular. So I don't really know about the sales number aspect of it. But again, Game Pass also gives that so-called quote unquote that was brought up back in the days, creative freedom. And that's something that we're not getting from Sony right now. I'm sure that will come here a little bit later, but for right now, it's crazy for where Xbox was at just last gen, was looking at hey man, we need to have 343 to do something. Fonz, we've had this discussion years ago, and hey, this coalition need to be doing something. To now, you don't hear that anymore because Game Pass is offering so much more variety from second and third party publishers, and then for Xbox also have all these studios. It's just an amazing feat right now. Microsoft is doing
MLB.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing.
MLB is a huge thing. Look, I would never be playing. I wouldn't be playing that game at all. if it wasn't for Game Pass. Like I haven't bought a baseball game since like Super NES, man. Like seriously, it's been that long. And so I downloaded MLB and I played a full game of it and I had fun doing it. And me and Chris were talking about possibly playing together sometime, hopefully this weekend or something.
Oh, shit.
And it's one of those things where it's like you get games like this where you wouldn't normally play it. I'm playing Octopath Traveler. Like that game, and not that I don't like JRPGs, because I do, but if it hadn't come into Game Pass, I wouldn't have bought it on the Switch. It's
No,
just,
it was $60.
it's crazy
Yeah, it was
that it's
$60.
here.
And then another thing too is that I think that's real fraudulent of people is that if you went to if you've used Redbox, people fraud. A lot of people like to fraud the public. If you used Redbox or if you went to a Blockbuster or a Hollywood Video or maybe your local video store and rented games, then how in the world are you going to say that Game Pass is against anything gaming when you at one particular time was using those stores to go rent games?
But I was paying $10 for a week for one game then, not $10 a month for hundreds, so the developer got to split the pennies more evenly, you hear?
Dealer, I'll maintain this. I've said this, and I said it on my show Sunday too. Going forward, if Xbox keeps getting these AAA multi-plat games, bigger and bigger ones, it's going to be a problem for Sony.
It's going to be a problem
because here's the thing. Sony, we know they're going to have the exclusives. They're going to have those bangers that they usually come with, and that's awesome. They're not in trouble of going out of business or anything like that. I'm not saying anything like that. But Game Pass is becoming a problem for them.
Yeah.
Game Pass is going to be something that they're going to have to look at and say, hey, we need a real answer to this.
We need a contract, quick.
Contract. Yeah, not just some clause in the contract, because money talks. And who has the deeper wallets? We talked about it this last show. Microsoft has a deeper wallet. So if Microsoft wants a game in Game Pass, damn it, it's going to be in Game Pass.
Let me get someone else's take here, right? I want Tim Dog to defib himself and kind of give your thoughts. How do we even get on Game Pass? Oh, the Dirt5 developer. Yeah, David, which again, I've done the interview with David, right, with Game On Daily, and we talked about like the ray tracing stuff and the physics being propelled by ray tracing silicon, all that good stuff. Like David's a nice guy, and he said a lot of really cool stuff behind the scenes. He's basically confirming everything that we've already known, Tim, and just to see another one come out and really hammer it home. What are your initial thoughts, and what are you seeing? What's the damage control on Twitter?
Well, I don't think there is even a damage control. I think it's at the point where people know Game Pass is, unreal, and it has a lot of hype right now, and I just feel that things are known, and he just solidified the fact. I mean, there was a time people saying it wasn't advantageous for the developer. There was one developer that came out and had some kind of comments, but overall, it's something that was explained to me. It's called the Flywheel effect, where basically it starts off small and it gathers on and it keeps on going until it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it just stops. It just won't stop. It's just it's a rolling.
It's powered by its own centrifugal force.
Right. Well, so this is what I feel that Game Pass is all about, and it's just growing. It's getting more and more noticed. It's getting more and more generalized by people, like casuals and stuff like that. It's gonna be knocked into their head that you get an Xbox because of Game Pass. I think that it's getting close to that. That's how, and I think it's going faster than even expected. So, we're going to talk later on about some other stuff that's going to tie into this, but Game Pass is a problem, like Fawn said, complete problem for Sony. I think Sony is at the point where they don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to full flow go into this, the way Microsoft is. They showed that, Jim Ryan talked about movies, or there was that movie thing that would be put into there.
Video Pass.
They don't really, it's hard to get where Microsoft is. Because in the beginning, it's a tough sell, and that's why there was so many people saying such negative things. But the fact of the matter is, just kept getting stronger, and now it's to the point where it's you're just gonna have to take it granted. And I think people are at that point. So yeah, it's just good that we're there, and I just can't, I can't see how this is going to stop. It's just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Let me give a few shout outs here, right? Because we haven't acknowledged anybody in the chat yet. As we've been kind of a big discussion here. But Xbox, I like the name. He says, all these ponies are suddenly accountants. I think they all went out and bought calculators and hit the wrong buttons. KY Bob says, Outriders, I like it. And then we've also got Adam Ragoza. He says, I have to say, I love the stream. Good job, fellas. Thank you so much. Shout out to Tony Bryant. Failed Pyromancer says, we shouldn't really care about how much money Xbox is making. Nobody said anything about that, right?
Nobody said anything.
We should only care about what we can actually play. All right.
Yep. Play a lot of good games. I'll tell you that, Failed. A lot of good games.
I like Turtles. And then we've also got shout out to Jay Hoffa. And then I want to read one super chat here so I can get this. We've got the Friendly Neighborhood Blue Shell. He says, for having K-Mega on the show. Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
K-Mega, we'll get more from you on this as well. But Zalker, go ahead and wrap this up. You got your carrots and all that stuff. Good to go.
I don't got my carrots, so I'm bringing that shit up. I was gonna say that Vaughn's brought up like the wallet thing. Who has the bigger wallet or whatever? There's, like the flywheel, like Tim talked about it. When you wrap it all up, Xbox is making over, what Windows Central said in one of their articles, making over 100 million, if not multiple hundreds of million, off of just Game Pass every month.
Yep.
So you got to understand that when a service starts, they expect to lose money. I guarantee you, they're using all that money and that revenue to push to buy more third-party support in big games every single month, and that's exactly what they've been doing the past couple months. And this month has been probably the biggest one. Just wait till things start kicking off even more, because right now they're just trying to get as many people on there as possible before Sony or somebody else tries to emulate what they're doing. So they have a head start like Netflix. Yeah, they have a head start like Netflix did. So they're trying to get as many people as possible, and they're just going to buy so many games rights. Like, we'll just pay for this development thing for you and throw it on Game Pass day and date. And it's like, then you'll get sales on top of it. So it's like, that is insane. Yeah. Well, it's just going to keep going, and there's been rumors of games coming all the time.
Right? Like, didn't Phil say that? We're profitable much faster than we actually thought we might be.
A lot of people did, that's why.
My dollar deal's up, and so is a lot of people's dollar deals. And we're paying the $15.99 or whatever it is, $14.99, whatever the case may be. And we're happy with it. It's a good service. It's worth it. Like, that dollar deal, so what?
I'm still on the dollar deal for 6 more years. Through that old Brazilian loophole I heard about.
Brazilian you mean the one where you keep creating new accounts?
You create new accounts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, D-Batch.
Man.
Hey, D-Batch.
What's up?
How you been, sir?
I'm good, man. Sorry, running a little bit late today. Was at work. Sorry, my bad.
No problem. Hey, did you hear that Game Pass, according to Jessimus Maximus, Jess Corden, he says 23 million in April. Or just round there. That's kind of a lot, D-Batch.
That is a lot, and Game Pass hasn't even been around too long. It's I don't even think it's reached its full stride yet, because when Microsoft's first party exclusive, the ones that we're waiting for, hit that service, that's when it's really gonna ramp up. You know what? We said it so many times on the show. It's such a great value. You got EA Access in there. You get those, all of their top games, day and date. You can try it up to 10 hours. You got the games in the vault. If you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, you can play your games on the PC. You can play your games on your Xbox. You can play your games on your phone, on any cloud-enabled device. It's just, the value is just a no-brainer. And you're right. It's come to a point now where I see a lot of gamers out there that weren't particularly invested in the Xbox ecosystem before, saying, you know what, it's a no-brainer to get the Xbox because of Game Pass. It's just, the value is just undeniable. They're saying that. I'm talking like detractors or just casual gamers that aren't into the console war stuff, are just saying randomly, like, this is a great value, it's a great price, it's in stock, and you know what, I can get Game Pass and play all of these games. So it's going to be a vehicle that really moves the consoles, which is what they want it to be. It's going to be a vehicle that they can make a lot of money on it. Anyone that's saying that this service is not a good service or has no value, they're simply hating. And just remember this. All the same people that are saying this service sucks and we're renting games and it's a budget service, I guarantee you, if Sony came out tomorrow and said we're going to do the same service, all of them would be screaming at the top of their lungs that this look, Sony's doing this is the best. Sony has the best exclusives. Oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. And they would be jumping on it because the value is just undeniable. Why would you pay, let's say you're getting 3 games a year, right? 3 exclusive games a year. Why would you spend full price for those games, like the full value, when you can pay like a fraction of that and have all of those games plus third-party games plus games in the vault and, be able to play games on all your devices? Why would you not choose that option? So they're fronting saying that they don't like it and they don't want Sony to do it. It's just because they want
to own their games. Because they want to own their games, D. But then at the same time, they don't want to play old games.
But you can still own your games on Xbox, right?
So, it's just.
In fact, Game Pass pushes more sales as we just covered, so you can still buy the game like you always could, or you could rent it like you've always been able to do, but at a much less value, right?
Yeah, and also before you go there, just 1 second. I just want to address this last thing. Sorry, man. A lot of people saying, "Oh, the developers, they're not getting paid, and they're not making their full money." Yada yada yada. All the developers have come out and spoke extremely positive about this service, and you better believe that it's reaching their bottom line when it comes to being compensated for their pay. That's for sure. Or they wouldn't be coming out and saying that. And we know that Microsoft is a company that everybody loves to hate on. You would hear developers coming out and screaming about it. You'd hear Jason Schreier, or whatever his name is, writing a story, an article about it. Oh, all these disgruntled devs, they don't like it. They don't like their pay in Game Pass. That's not the case. And when you see a big game like MLB The Show coming to Game Pass day and date, you better believe that it's a good service for all parties involved.
Sorry, all bets are off right now. I think really, another thing that you touched on, indeed, that is really fascinating is that people think, well, because you're paying to this service every month or however that you pay it, that game is not getting any benefits. But on the backside, people like to buy DLC, and most games have some kind of DLC or expansion packs and things like that. So they still recoup money, and those people still keep on, and that what keeps the service going because people don't want to lose out on it.
All right, so the sales of the games after they're put in Game Pass is the extra benefit there to these developers and these publishers or whatever, because they get paid before their game gets put in Game Pass. They get a healthy lump sum of money within Game Pass, and they agree to this. So anything that they sell after that is just another talking point. But if you have to look at the real big picture, they're getting paid a large amount of money for their game to be in Game Pass. And then what these people like, what the developers really like, is the engagement with their game. Yeah. They love seeing the fact that their game is getting played within Game Pass, more so than it would be had it not been in Game Pass, it seems. With some of these games, let's just face it, they're getting more play. They're getting more engagement. And that is the real thing here. I was talking to Chris Grinnell, and he said straight up, he's still got a lot of ties to the industry. He's got a lot of friends that are making games and have games out. And none of them have said anything negative about Game Pass. Like, this is something that you have to understand. If developers are good with Game Pass, why aren't you? Like, what is the point? Because I have to give a shout out to USO Vinny. He put it out there on Twitter and said, look, all you guys complaining about Game Pass, but yet you're sitting here saying you don't want to rent games, you want to own your games. But in the same breath, you say you don't want to play old games. So what's the point of owning all your old games? He's like, it makes no sense. And I was sitting there going, you know what? He's exactly right. Because there's so many games that I played that I never touch again. And you know what? That's perfect for me.
Yeah,
so I don't mind.
If you want to rent it. The thing is, it's your choice, right? I don't want somebody telling me what kind of shoes I can wear. Get off me. It don't make no sense, right? So I don't know why people are concerned about it. Developers are saying, look, we got paid. We agreed to the contract. We liked the amount of money we got. And the game went in there. And guess what? It sold more than it was. And on top of that, the thing we worked on for 4 years actually got played by millions of people that it would not have gotten played by. It's like getting a video that you work a long, long time on. This is a horrible example, but you can kind of relate. And, it gets seen by a lot of people. You'd almost rather that be the case than not, because you put work into it. I really am hoping for the best for every developer in Game Pass. And speaking of, you've got Second Extinction hitting Game Pass. That's tomorrow, correct? So that's the 4-player dinosaur shooter co-op. I think it's in preview. And I don't know how great it's going to be. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm planning on jumping in there and blowing some stuff up. It looked pretty crazy.
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
Why not?
Game
And that's
Pass.
the
There it is.
beauty of Game Pass, right? You can jump in there,
Yep.
try these games out. If you like it, keep going. If you don't, you can stop and play something else. I mean, there's hundreds of games there. It's amazing.
And honestly, it's pushed the Series X a lot more. I've already at the beginning of the generation, I said a lot of my friends are not getting Xboxes or PS5s; they're just getting PCs. After Outriders dropped on Game Pass only, they literally went to the PC Game Pass like, "Hey, where's Outriders on here?" I'm like, "It's only on Xbox," and they were like, "What the fuck?" And then literally, two of them have bought a Series.
Bitch.
Two of them have already bought a Series X. The rest of them turned on their Xbox One X's that they had and are playing Outriders on there. They're like, "Yeah, I'll just do it here." And then I'm like, "Are you subscribed?" They're like, "Well, on PC." So then they just went Ultimate. And it's like they've upgraded. So things like that are system pushers. I don't care what anybody says. It really just helps the ecosystem all around. And they need to do something, and kind of like full circle, they need to do something on PC to really bring people in there if they want to make that a viable option for PC gamers to subscribe to.
Yeah,
that's another thing too that if you guys remember, I think just last year or just a couple of years ago, where people were talking about, well, why does the console gamers have to feel like PC is better than them? Microsoft is it seems like they're giving more to PC. Well, with Outriders, they changed. So again, they're listening to us on top of the fact of bringing more value and options. So I think that they're going to keep playing that mix and match technique from here on out, because they see that it can work and that it can make a big draw for not only for the game, but for the consoles as well. Because they're still in the business of wanting to sell the console. They just now want to conquer everything from all around and kind of put Sony in a position to where they concede to, hey, maybe getting Game Pass on PlayStation, or work out some negotiations otherwise, or have PlayStation force themselves to do the same thing, which I think probably that's what's going to happen, is where PlayStation is going to maybe have to cut something out and then bring in their version of Game Pass, which that's going to be very interesting to see, because
they've already got it, man. They've already got it. They've got the answer. It's called Video Pass.
TV.
Oh my. Sony are they're really pulling a play out of Yusuf Mehdi's playbook. They said, "Hey, can you help us out? We need bad advice. We're going to go ahead and put movies in PlayStation Plus." And that's what's going to happen. And by the way, we got to give a big shout out to every single one of you guys in the chat. You power the show. You're here every week. You sit here and you give us your thoughts. You give us your energy. And we do appreciate it, guys. 1,600 people watching right now, even on Deadass Tuesday. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. Let's try to get close to 1,000 for the end of the show. And share that with a buddy or two. We do appreciate it. We've got to...
Dealer, you need to understand, that's 20 whole TVs and TV shows and movies put together.
I like 20 TVs.
20.
I feel like they called Don Mitrick and they said, "Give us what you got."
Don Mitrick,
yeah,
give us your
in
bowl
Poland,
cut.
So Mads Gaming can watch it in Poland, but we can't. So we got to wait. It's beta testing.
That's unfortunate. Mads Gaming, shout out to him.
Yeah,
they charge him $1 million per game over there.
For me, it signals that they might realize that they can't do what Xbox is doing, and they might be waving the Game Pass flag, as you say. They can make, PSN Plus really good, I guess, and they could do some things, but to have something on the scale of Game Pass, I just feel like this, if true, this move indicates that they're kind of going to say, hey, you could have this, but we're not. I don't think they're going to have and I've predicted that they would have to follow Xbox, but with this latest bit of news, I kind of feel like there's some people inside that say we can't, and there's some trifle or whatever trife, if that's the right word. That's going on over there, and I don't, like I said, I think that they're at the point where it's at a critical point. They gotta, if they're gonna do a Game Pass, they've got to start moving.
I honestly think that there's a little maybe Jim or somebody at Sony is afraid of doing it because they know they're going to lose money on it in the beginning, and they know that it's going to be a long play. While let's be honest, Xbox, when they decided this, it was almost like if Phil Spencer had a plan, but they were just kind of like, fuck it. We're already there at the bottom. We kind of messed up. Let's just do something completely different and really reshape our infrastructure, reshape this, and we'll try this. Yeah, it'll lose money, but hey, we got to do something because doing the same thing over and over again is insanity. And Sony, who has been killing it, is kind of like, well, do we want to change it? And then now it might be too little too late. Like, it's going to take them a long time to get the infrastructure unless they put a lot of money down to have Amazon or Microsoft or somebody to handle the servers and the data.
That's the other side of it. Yeah, the cloud portion. I think that's still in play, but
they couldn't even get name changes right.
I mean, yeah, it's honestly, and people will say, you're pro Xbox cast, let's be honest here. It really isn't something that Sony's good at. Sony's good at making motion picture type games that are amazing, big, huge, but they're not as diversified as Xbox is right now. And if the answer is A, copy what they do, but like Zorka said, and like the Flywheel thing that I talked about, that you have to realize that when you start off something, you're going to take a loss. You're going to start, trying to, for the Flywheel, gain more momentum. You start off with nothing. But it isn't, something where, they might look at it and say, we can't compete too with what Microsoft does. I think what Microsoft did with the show and Outriders shaped the industry and it definitely shook Sony, I believe. It definitely shook everyone. It was a needle pusher and people, were wondering what's next. So just overall, the whole video TV pass, that was an ominous thing if that's true. And I think that's what he was talking about when he said we had something planned all the way back with Jim Ryan when he said that.
You think so, Timmy?
I don't. His answer?
Wow. I don't know. I mean, at least let me put it out there. It's possible. That's the vibe I got. Right. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of strife going on.
It's great to be, have an extra thing like Video Pass. Like, sure, it's fine to have something extra on top of that PS Plus package or whatever, but that is not what gamers are asking for. Nobody's saying, I'd really want to watch Venom again. Nobody's really saying
trash.
That. They want games. And you know what? More importantly, as much as a lot of these Sony guys run around saying that they don't like old games or whatever, there's plenty of them that would love to have their backwards compatibility actually working great.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes. There's so many old games they'd like to have come back and be, renewed again, so to speak, without having to do a remaster and a remake, maybe have something like a FPS Boost or something like Microsoft is doing. I guarantee you a lot of Sony guys would have liked that for their older games. Can't tell me different.
No, I totally agree with that. See, that's the thing with me. Like the whole backwards compatibility thing was, I was going to give me a PlayStation 5 along with a Series X if I was able to get one. I mean, because everybody was having the issues. But if the backwards compatibility aspect was there, I mean, if you could have, and I'm over here dreaming, but if they could have pulled off bringing PlayStation 1 all the way to PlayStation 4 games to be available on the PlayStation 5, it was a no-brainer for me that I was going to get that console because there's so many great games. I mean, there's Xenogears, there's oh my God, the Wild Arms games, Battle Arena Toshinden. That's just, I mean, just tons of games.
Bottom line is this, they wouldn't have retracted on taking away the PS3 store if it hadn't been because all the outcry, saying, we want those games.
About time.
And I'm happy about the PlayStation community standing up for that because I thought that was wrong as well because they're giving too many mixed signals about where they want to be. And this reminds me so much of how Xbox was in the beginning of last generation because they were in that turmoil. And I was saying this back then. I mean, I don't know if you remember when we was on the multiplayer, and I would say, look, they are going to have this. When Andrew House left, that's when I said something is not right. I mean, I know that he might have been tired and want to go do something else, or just want to just say, hey, look, Sony's is at the top spot. This is it. But to me, when you're on top, you would think that you want to stay there until the next, until you get a successor. When he just left out of the blue and then you start seeing all this trouble, I'm like, look, this is the same thing that happened with Microsoft. How is it that Sony is not in a position to where they can handle the same type of thing? We're talking about a company that is money-wise is so much bigger than Sony. So you're telling me that if Microsoft or Xbox can handle it, you think that Sony and the PlayStation situation can happen? No, we're just seeing that, and Sony's going to be fine at the end of the day because they have plenty of fans, no doubt about it. It's just that right now I think they're just going through a rocky, through some rocky situations right now, and I think that they'll get out of it, but it's going to take a little while. And by that time, I think Xbox is going to be soaring because their exclusives on top of whatever they're going to be doing with Game Pass and all of that, it's going to just be full throttle at that.
Chris, I mean, again, all great points, by the way. I heard all of it, but I really was paying attention to the chat as well. And I guess everyone's in the chat kicking Sean in the shins. I don't know who Sean is, but shout out to you, Sean. Apparently you're upset because Xbox is doing good things and you hate competition. Also, shout out to the mods that are doing the drop kicks and all the people in the chat. Hectic World. We've also got Bale Powermaster. You're a PlayStation guy. Sometimes he keeps it real. Some very rarely, but sometimes. I respect that. We've also got Floodman. Shout out to you, buddy. And we've got a few comments from the chat as well that I want to get to before I get too far behind and feel like an asshole for not getting to them. Zeal says, "Where is Colt? When is Colt going to come? What? When is Colt going to quarter PS5 YouTube space?" That wasn't exactly spelled how I would have, sir.
I was going to say pause, but I was like, hey, I don't know. This is my first time in 4 years.
He's basically saying that because Colt and Xbox are living in those guys' head rent free, right? They're just obsessed, right? They just they can't stop talking about people. Lord Starkiller, PS Now at about 2.5 million subs. Game Pass, at about 23 million. That's pretty incredible, and it can't match the value of Game Pass. Absolutely agree, sir. Nice to see you back in the chat, man. AJ Harris, he says, "I can't believe I had to say this. I said this a while back. Game Pass is an option. Yeah, you don't have to do that. You can buy the games." Yes, it's very true. Some people keep forgetting, including that journalist from DualShockers. Remember when I did the video on them? Yeah. And then we've got...
You want to hear something that's interesting about that? Most Xbox gamers still aren't on Game Pass. So, think about that.
Yeah, like by far the vast majority are not. IC144, he says they need to put Game Pass PC on Steam. I don't know what the point of that would be, sir. But, maybe you're a bigger fan of Steam. I would get it then. DeAndre, he says Game Pass will just keep clowning Sony. Yes, it's already doing it. And I don't know why people couldn't see that by now. KY Bob says Microsoft needs to do a stage show, and he's basically talking about their closed theater across the street from E3 in LA. I'm not sure they can even get there, man. I think that whole city's taken over by zombies right now. I'm not sure.
You can't do that.
He says everyone else, you can't do that. He says everyone else will be streaming a stage stream in their theater. Yeah, that would be cool if they went back there, but it's hard to imagine, man, with everything going on. But UFC, the noodle leg thingy, that was a packed auditorium, right? Was that not a packed auditorium?
Yeah, it was 100%.
All right, so expect everything to get worse. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
It's going to get better.
I just, man,
damn, Negative Nancy.
I'm just saying, stop licking each other, Hectic World, he does a Returnal $70 rescue clone. What the hell? Returnal a $70 Recore clone or Second Extinction, a game on Game Pass, which is better. I don't know, man. I haven't played either. I have not played either.
Let's not go there. Come on, Returnal looks pretty good. Housemarque.
Yeah, Returnal.
I honestly haven't even looked into Returnal. I haven't had the time. I've been trying to play more 2K, as you know. And by the way,
it's definitely not my type of game. I am not getting that. Even if it was $40, I wouldn't buy that game. It's just, I'm hearing it's really hard, by the way.
Why isn't it your type of game?
It's that
is it like Dark Souls?
Procedural generated dungeon type, game. I don't like games like that. It seems like it's just like going in a loop the whole time. And you're basically just firing off these shots while you're trying to avoid. I don't know. It reminds me almost like of those space shooters, but like in a third person action adventure form. But it's just weird. It's one of those games I do not like. I wouldn't play that game.
Chat, let us know what you think of Returnal.
They're saying it's very, very hard too, and I don't want to play a very, very hard game either. Just nah.
Well, put that bitch on easy.
You can't. There is no setting for that.
That's unfortunate.
There's no slide.
I mean, I like the procedural generated stuff. I mean, I get it, like, if it's a little overdone, but I enjoy, like, Diablo riffs and stuff like that. But I hear, like, this one is a little harder, and then, like, when you die, it's, like, completely different. So you can't just, like, smash your head against the wall to try to beat something. You have to actually use your abilities and use your skill to get through it.
Well,
so that's actually a big part of why I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Here's what I heard from somebody. I'm not going to mention because we're not supposed to be talking about this. But anyway,
not the name.
So anyway, he basically he or she told me that that within the game the RNG sucks, and sometimes you won't know what you're picking up, and you'll be in the middle of a boss fight and you'll pick up something that gives you like 20% less damage. It'll just mess with you.
Wait, so you auto equip things?
I think so. I think that's what he was trying to tell me.
So what you're saying is you're in a boss fight and then you get a refund.
Oh,
ultimate attack.
I'm just not down with games like that. it's not for me, man. This is I don't know.
I mean, if it's not for you, it's all good. We're not gonna.
Fine.
We're not gonna.
I'm not hating on anybody who wants to buy it. Even if you paid $70, that's on you. I just wouldn't buy this game at all. Not for me.
Franz, you're not Franz. It's all right, man. We're not killing you. We're not attacking you. I understand. If it is that shit that you were saying,
other people though that love this game or whatever, go ahead, love it.
Love it good.
Did you play? Did you like Ex Machina?
No, I never played it.
I played that on Steam. It was actually like a really cool game. Really good. The thing that gets me excited about the game with Housemarque is the combat. They are extremely detailed in it, and it's not like some bullshit where you're like, oh man, I did that, but it didn't read. No, it's really well done.
I played the Rezo gun. I played Rezo gun. That's it.
Come on, Fonz. Come on, Fonz.
But see, that was the thing that I was questioning. It's not the game itself, because the game looks cool. I mean, I would definitely play it. The thing I'm questioning is that going to be a big seller or a console drawer for the PlayStation community? And for me, I mean, look, shooters, certain shooters, like if it was SOCOM, of course it would. But for this game, I don't know. And it kind of reminds me of when Cliffy B made that decision to go to PlayStation with that one particular game, and it didn't pan out. And I'm looking at this game the same way, but it's, it looks pretty, it looks great. I just think that for the $70 price tag, which there are so many people that wants to brag about, well, I just like to buy my games. We'll see how well that game will do. I don't think it's going to do like Days Gone. I don't think it's going to do Days Gone numbers. But so, what if this game hits less, and will Sony, it gets critically acclaimed, but will Sony give them
the thing with the game. The thing with the game is that I think they'll look at with Days Gone. It was like it still sold like 5 million copies, and they're still not giving it a sequel. Not good enough.
6.5. Yeah, 6.
Oh, like 6.5. But I think with Housemarque, who knows? Because maybe with Days Gone developer Sony Bend, they didn't have as much trust as they do with Housemarque, because Housemarque's brought out a lot of great games. But I think
also look at. You have to also look at the fact that this game probably wasn't. They didn't spend much on this game making it. Honestly,
I think they spent a lot more than we.
I think Days Gone, they spent a lot more money on Days Gone.
Oh no, yeah. Comparatively, yeah. But I do think that like they gave Housemarque a lot of money, because this is what they've said, their first AAA game, and the last game they brought out was how long ago?
I would guess anywhere between maybe 60 and 100 million spent on this game tops.
That's a lot of money for.
That's a lot of money, man.
It's not. No.
I don't think it's that much.
50 mil is an average AAA budget. So I would guess at tops 100. And we're talking.
I think
like,
God of War
I don't even think that. I think it's like. I think it's probably around 60. Like I really don't think it's all that much.
Well, I don't know.
I can tell you that you would be surprised how expensive these games are. Depending on voice acting and everything.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Exactly. I agree with your original statement. I don't think it costs that much money to make compared to like Days Gone. Days Gone was definitely more of it was a AAA. This one's, if you say this is AAA, then why can't people say Gears Tactic is AAA? I mean,
who the hell said it isn't AAA?
Exactly.
There's a lot of people that try to say
well, then those people are idiots and didn't play the game.
Gears Tactics looks amazing. Like if you play it, it's pretty good looking.
Yeah, but my
Gears
point
Tactics
is that
AAA.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's you can say it's a fringe AAA. That's fine. It's not on the level as like a Halo or a, you know, those are big games. But I think this game, I honestly feel like it is very. It has good like impressions, but it doesn't seem to have any hype at all. Like very little hype.
Somebody in the chat said
that
Jaffe, David Jaffe said that it was the director told David Jaffe that it was around 120 million. So I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't watch the show, but I'm just.
Well, I've heard
seems like a lot.
that the game. Listen, I heard recently it's 5 to 7 million copies sold to recoup profit on a single player AAA. So yeah, these it's cost a lot of money to make these games.
That's
It does cost a lot of money. They're making a lot of money in a lot of different ways. Like, and depending on the engine, they don't charge outright up front for the engines like they used to in a lot of cases.
So I misspoke a bit. I just want to clear it up. The average AAA game is about 60 to 80 million to make.
There we go. Thanks for telling us, Fonz.
Thank you.
No, I just want to put that out there. Just because why do you say it's 50 or 60? It's actually 60 to 80.
You know, Tomb Raider costs like around 100. The latest Tomb Raider, right? So I don't know what you would define as an average AAA, but I mean, yeah, I don't know enough about this game, Returnal, honestly.
I mean, graphically, it looks like it would be a AAA, but that's the whole thing. I mean, what is the
so
level?
So does Hellblade 1, right? That was an Xbox game, right? So.
Exactly. So that's the thing for me is that what is the level design going to be like? It's like a dungeon crawler type game. Like, I mean, if it's are you going to be a lot of rinse and repeat? And then eventually, once you get to a certain plateau, it does look that way. But I don't know. And then like the story element, since it's this type of game, like how deep will the story actually be? And you know that Sony is known for having compelling story games. Like that's the thing to me that I'm just questioning of how many Sony fans will commit to.
I think this is a little different. To be quite honest, I'm actually happy about this game because it is a little different than what Sony usually puts out. Sony puts out those third person, very, story driven. This game looks a little more arcadey. It looks a little more intense.
That's a good way to put it.
And it's a different type of game, especially the roguelite RPG. So that's what I'm happy about. Like I'm happy that I'm not going to play another third person, AAA massive thing that's just, so long, like, Ghost and Last of Us was, and, even Spider-Man, which I love all those games and I played them, but I'm just happy for something a little different from
And
Sony.
Even though like the maps change a little bit, it just seems like it's the same area over and over from what I've seen. And I've seen like 45 minutes of gameplay, in different areas.
Sony fans, they're just shitting all over your new game. I'm sorry.
I didn't shit on it. I said I'm happy about it.
It looks cool. I would definitely play it.
Oh god.
The graphics look cool. I'm just not into that type of game. That's all.
Well, Dealer, you'll be able to play it, bro.
Why are we
Dealer, you'll be able to play it, bro. I'll yeah.
Okay. I mean,
I got you.
I'll just look up the trailer. If I like it, then I'll buy it. I'm not
just
too
go
worried.
down
I gotta
NBA
make sure my
2K.
PlayStation works. It fell off a cliff, by the way. I don't know if y'all heard about that story from last week.
Yeah, he kicked it.
So yeah, we got to move forward. Okay. Again, D-Batch was on the next topic, and then somehow we got onto this. So Game Pass, 23 million, and that's pretty impressive. Estimates, real quick. Tim Dog, this time next year, January, February, let's say that. What do you think Game Pass could be at once Microsoft actually finally have some first party out, as well as everything else that's happening here? How many subscribers for Game Pass?
I believe the goal or the internal goal logically is 30. I think they're going to easily surpass that.
Infinite's going to move some numbers.
Yeah, Infinite's going to move some numbers. Plus, when they talk 30 million subscribers, people say, oh, does that mean active million subscribers? Or is that just people that subscribed? Now, I'm thinking when they say 35 million, it probably is people who have subscribed. Your active people actually paying for it is probably a percentage less. But let's just say you're getting, say it's 35 million and you're actually recouping 20 million. Do the math on that and you see how much money that makes a year. And that's how big it's getting. So while they're not telling you the whole story, and so while some people complain that that's the whole story, you can pretty make you can make assumptions just from the sheer growth of it. And they're very happy. They didn't announce any numbers today, but I think that they want to hit landmarks and announce them. I think 30 million is obviously something that is a huge number, but I think that they're going to easily surpass that. They are. From the thing today, we'll talk about it later. Super duper confident right now, and I'm sure they're looking to spend.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it doesn't matter how much money they put into it, right? Because they know it's growing. So that's the number one thing that they looked at that was like, wow, people really want this, and so they invest in it. And you can see that with all the games that's happening now. We've said this a million times. The only product I remember where it sold like stupid well, but then everybody hated it, like it just fell off a cliff, was the Kinect. The Kinect, like they literally taught me that in school, like for like technology and business.
Don't build something like this.
Like, no, they were like, yeah, this is like, look at the data, look at how many people enjoyed it, look how much it sold, and look how many it sold individually. And it was like, and then all of a sudden it just fell off a cliff because people were like, nope. And it was like, that was the one thing that, even Microsoft's learning from. But outside of that, like, every subscription service, like look at Disney Plus, look at everything, like they're growing like beyond what their projections were. Because because we have to understand, right? Like Xbox had projections. Phil Spencer, whoever does all the data analytics, they gave Microsoft like, hey, this is where we're going to be at this year, and this year, right? Like that's like where they're hoping to be. I guarantee you that they've passed those projections, and that's why Microsoft is like, oh well, hold on, like then here's some more money, right? Little baby things getting herded into Game Pass.
Hey, let me read a few of these, and then I want to come back to the next person. But Tim, you're saying this time, or January, February next year, you're saying 30 million plus, probably.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. A shout out to Valentin. He says I'd try Returnal if it was on Game Pass. I wouldn't pay $70 though. And then we've also got Andy in the super chat. Says so much for the Series S, holding things back, holding generations back. Love my Series S, getting better every single day. Yeah, wait until Fidelity FX and all that stuff hits, right? I mean, it's only going to get better. The weakest part of the system is high. It's just awesome. Good stuff coming. And then, again, Killer E3 in the super chat. MBG is somewhere. Yeah. He's. I don't know if he's going to flip-flop or flip-flop. I have no idea. It's a dance move he does sometimes. And then Meat Puppet. We've also got, in my opinion, Sony could actually modify PlayStation, what is that, PlayStation Now or PlayStation, my stupid mouse just went crazy. He said, Sony could actually go and modify PS Now and add cloud gaming. They've already got cloud gaming on PS Now, and you can download the games, right? So they signed a memorandum with Microsoft because they knew Gaikai, that $50-60 million turd that they bought 7 years ago, was
you mean
basically
the $400 million turd?
Well, they've since spent that much, yeah. But initially, it was like $60 million, I think.
No, what? I thought that was like
so.
a 400.
Yeah, I thought they bought it for.
I thought they bought the Gaikai thing for like $400 million.
I don't know. I might be tripping. What did they buy it? I don't know. I thought it was like failing or something. So they kind of.
They bought Gaikai for the amount of cost.
No, you're thinking of On Live.
On Live.
Yeah, you're thinking On Live.
Did they really?
I know. I thought Gaikai cost.
Yeah, they spent
Gaikai
a lot of money.
That's even worse. All right,
yeah,
so
they
knew Gaikai, the $400 million turd, couldn't compete with Azure, and that's why they signed a memorandum with Microsoft. And they're going to be doing the same thing Microsoft will. Definitely bend the knee. But yeah, Zonker, what do you think Game Pass will be at this time, January, February next year, whatever? Chat, let us know.
It has little factors in it, right? If they start locking down things like, those things where people were saying that like a third person or a first person shooter that's AAA is going to be on Game Pass day and date by the end, it's a third party one. If it's Battlefield or if Far Cry gets delayed and it's that one, plus Halo, plus Forza Horizon, and like we've talked about and it's been rumored, Starfield drop at the end of the year on Game Pass, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes over 35 million. Like I mean, it's at 23 million, man. And let's be honest, the Xbox launch of games wasn't that great, and they've been putting in great games now and starting and putting out nice AAA third-party games and big games and advertising it. If they actually start dropping some AAA games that are exclusive, like Halo, Starfield, and Forza, I don't know, man. Like I'd have to, I think that's when they're waiting. That's when they're going to see, like, all right, what can Game Pass truly be once we start dropping these fucking games in there? And that's when I think it's going to blow up.
It's just getting rolling.
That's where I'm waiting for. Huh?
It's just getting rolling.
It's just getting started. That's the crazy thing. It's like for them to just get started, and Xbox is sitting there going like, man, we haven't even dropped like Halo or Gears or any of our big games in there yet, and it's at this. Like, wait till we get that shit in there and advertise and push that. That's when I think it's going to really blow up. So I wouldn't, like 30 million probably, and then 35 million if things go right and they have those games launched this year.
Oh, others think don't damage control the original Kinect. Come on. Don't do that.
Oh, no. No, listen, the Kinect had some cool things outside of the game. I didn't want it on my console. Outside of it, you could do some cool things with your lights and like motion and all that, and have your house kind of be connected to it and do all this cool technology, like, program stuff. But outside of that, on your Xbox, like, come on, it's not, you don't put it there. It's not for gaming. It's for other cool little useful things in like laboratories and stuff that I've actually seen that's really cool.
He said, you don't put it there. Don't put it there.
Don't put it on your Xbox. Don't do that, boy.
There's no games and stuff.
There's no games that you could dance in front of a camera with.
Oh,
I waited till Phil Spencer said we're getting rid of it before I even bought an Xbox One.
Others Inc. says 50 million Game Pass users by December. Woo! Well, that's pretty impressive, Others Inc. You got
that's a fucking...
Give us some information.
Yeah,
Chad, what do you think about that? 50 million. That's a lot.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it. I don't care, man. The more the merrier, because the more, the more people that join, the more games we're going to get out of it, right? That's my whole thing on that.
Bethesda.
Oh, Others Inc. just commented, said there's still no Lockhart. Y'all were wrong about that. Still, I'm just kidding.
Still no Lockhart.
I'm just kidding.
Dealer, why are you toxic?
I'm just kidding. Others Inc.'s here every week, man. He's one of my favorite people. Shout out to Others Inc. Shout out to Lethal. Shout out to King Ram. Shout out to Next Gen. Shout out to Flutterman, Peter, SMS, all you guys. Let me read two more of these. I'll throw it in. We'll just kind of throw them out there real quick after this and get past this. Dan Lanza says Movie Pass is it's dumb because Sony has terrible movies. Well, that's
I mean, come on.
That's the ultimate burn.
They pretty much do.
What?
Venom was a solid 3 out of 10. I just want to throw it
First
out
of
there.
all, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
What?
Just kidding. I'm playing
I was about to say fonts, buddy.
But no. Come on. Sony movies aren't fantastic. There
They're
might
pretty
be.
good. No, you know what? As you can hate on Sony's practices because their business practices are really shitty in every division that they're in. But when it comes to their overall products, I'll give them that. Their products are mostly good, and their movie shit, like, they make mistakes here and there, but I'd rate them at least a good 7.5 to 8.
Their TV.
He's actually waking up for the movies, really? God, Dark CMF got the funniest super chat ever. He says, seriously, even if I don't even plan on playing this thing, I boot up MLB The Show every single day just to laugh about it being there. Man, what a great time to be a gamer. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
The Sony icon that comes on when you load the game, I could just see him cracking up.
PlayStation Studios, yeah.
You know what? I'm just going to name a few of those in that video pass. Jumanji, The Next Level, Charlie's Angels, Venom,
Trash,
Baby Driver.
That movie's sick as hell.
It's all right.
It's man, the only ones that are even
okay
is like Blade Runner 2049.
That's a good movie.
And
All right, let's get off of this.
Yeah. Mini fridges are cool though.
The best movies they make is the James Bond movies. There you go.
All right. Dova King.
Trolls. I like trolls.
I like trolls. Dova King says Moriarty spit a lot of facts today. I did not watch him spit on
Tim's
facts.
in the corner, just fucking like vein popping in his forehead. Get the fuck off this topic.
Hey Tim, do you know if the Resident Evil Village demo is coming to Xbox? Andy Hart, shout out to him. He wants to know.
No idea.
Damn it!
Was that in the
Come on, Tim.
I heard it was, but that was
better.
just from Xbox guys, but haven't heard anything definitive.
Okay. Alec Gamer says, love the show, and thanks for keeping me entertained while I'm in the hospital. Man, what happened? He says also Xbox streaming while here too. That's very, very useful, man. We hope you are okay. You know, hope you're doing fine, man. He says, who did that for you? Oh my God, Book of X. That's hilarious. That's a King David reference, I think. Shout out to King David. And shout out to the almost 2,000 people watching us live, guys. If you haven't, hit the like button, tell a buddy or two, and thank you so much for what you do. Seriously, you power the show, make it one of the biggest Xbox podcasts in history, and we're going to move the fuck on. That's how I feel. Let us know how you feel in the comments as I ask K-Mega.
I'm a bit tired.
Yeah, K-Mega's in a hammock right now. I know what he's doing.
I'm cool.
I'm just messing with you.
He's watching Venom.
Right, we kind of touched on this on your show Friday, right?
Yeah,
there's some stuff that's kind of come out about this damn Capcom contract that broke like basically last Tuesday, right? And I guess I want to go to you and then to Fonz especially. But did Sony? Are you still where you were on Friday? Because we were kind of in the same spot. Like you'd be either way, like fake, real. What is it? But did they really pay them to keep it off of Game Pass? Are there any developments there? And what about the visual parity clause as well that's in this damn contract? Like, from everything I'm seeing, people are saying this thing is, like, legitimate or could very well be legitimate.
Right, and that's, to me, is where it's just like what I said on Friday night. It was just like, look, if you just look at Sony's past, I mean, it goes all the way back to with Nintendo. They have been practicing they've been having shady practices for a very long time. Now, does it look authentic? Yes, it does. But I mean, look, I got to give a big shout out to my boy Predator. He's just like, look, if it's confidential, then you're not going to hear anything from anybody because that means, look, they're in a clause and they can't say anything about it. Normally, you would think if somebody's trying to do a smear tactic or anything like that, then you would think that Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo would come out and say, no, we're not going to, no, that's not true at all. But of course, we know how arrogant some of these companies are, and they don't want to come out and say anything just because. I know Microsoft would have been right there like, no, this isn't real. And I know that I've heard also the comparison of like, well, Microsoft has done shady tactics and stuff too. I'm pretty sure that they have. But I don't think under Phil Spencer's watch. Look, I don't know what all the ins and outs happening, but the biggest issue to me is, and I said this Friday night, was we'll start seeing this once you start watching those Digital Foundry videos and stuff and things like that. If these games start coming out looking better or performing better on the PlayStation on the PlayStation 5 than they are on the X on the Series X, and we all know that the Series X is a more powerful console, so it should already outperform it in any way, shape, or form. But if they are under Sony contracts, then and that happens, then obviously there's something to be questioned.
Well, now I got to add to that, and I'll let you continue. But Kirby, a game developer in the chat, right? He's a moderator. He's been on the show. He says that Sony's engineers got beat, and they bribed them for parity, basically. That's interesting.
See, I don't see that. I don't see that.
I mean, we've seen weird stuff like this in the past, though. But we've seen the opposite
too.
Everything I've heard.
No, I just wanted to make this one point. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make this one point too. Is that like we've heard the same thing with in the beginning of last gen with Xbox and with PlayStation 4 because PlayStation 4 was a more powerful console. Maybe not. Well, the whole resolution gauge aspect of it. And they were saying that Xbox was trying to sign contracts to get the parity because they didn't want the resolution. Or PlayStation 4 to dominate. I personally, if you're confident in your console, it doesn't matter. You're going to have your fan base. It shouldn't matter if this console is better. I mean, just go back to Sega and Nintendo. Nintendo was always more powerful than Sega. So I mean, but people still bought Sega because they enjoyed that console. So if they're doing this grimy type of stuff, man, I mean, I know there's be some gamers that just won't care, but I would have to look at Sony crossways with this.
Well, I'm just saying Sega's gone now.
Well, that's
true.
That's true.
I'm about to say, I don't know. What do you mean people still bought Sega? I was like, no, they didn't. They died.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about during the Sega Genesis era. I'm not talking about the.
Yeah, I know. I had one too, but yeah, Nintendo killed it because they had the games.
Right. That's what did it.
But the Wii U had the games too.
I don't know about all that.
Right. Yeah, they had exclusive every month, man, and a lot of them rated pretty high. So I don't think it's any one thing. I think it's a combination of things. honestly. Just like a car, a good car, right? It's not just one thing. It's never just one thing. But
okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
But I just wanted to interject a bit because I think K-Mega, like a lot of people out there, were taking this parity clause and running with it as if it meant that it would hold back the Series X or the version on the Series X, and it's not like that at all. This, from everything I've heard from not only from developers but also Hogue Law was talking a lot about this. This seems to be like a pretty standard type contract if this is indeed real. From what they've been saying, it seems like it looks legit, but anything can be fake nowadays, and they could change some things. This could have been a contract between another game and they changed it or whatever. So anything could happen. But that whole parity thing, it really is just a standard thing that both companies do, and it's basically not about pulling back, say, resolution or frame rates or anything like that. It's just basically saying, look, you can't have features within the game that aren't present on our console as well. And if you read it, it even says at the end that it's subject to material platform limitations, which, could mean that if the PS5 can't, handle the resolution that the Series X can, so be it. The Series X can have better resolution. It really just comes down to whatever, the feature sets within the game. Like if you can have extra things within one version over the other.
So meaning you could never leverage all of the silicon for ray tracing on Series X.
No, not that at all. When I'm talking about features, I'm talking about within the game, like the mechanics, the game design. You can't have an extra map, say, or you can't have an extra weapon over here on this, side or whatever. That's the kind of stuff that they're talking about.
Ramp up physics.
Well, I don't know exactly any of that, but I'm just saying what I've been told by like Chris Grinnell, what I've been hearing from Hogue Law. This is pretty standard that they do talk about parity in this way.
So
when it comes
Hogue
to
Law think it's real, the contract?
He says that it looks very legit, and he would side on the fact that this could be real, but again, anything could be fake nowadays. So he's like, it does have a lot of legal speak.
Well, let me add this too. I just wanted to ask this to you, Fonzarelli. Now, do you think that that's the one reason why Xbox is now doing the Series X enhancements and things like that? Because kind of to counteract anything of what happened, like last gen. To make sure that there'll be parity, that in the sense of games will not be made better for one console over the other, differently,
or like you can't use a different engine for the game for them.
Right.
That's basically what they're saying.
But my question I'm asking is that why you think that maybe Microsoft is using is now implementing those enhancements to games afterwards?
That could be true. I have no idea, but
any PlayStation game
I think the biggest takeaway from this thing is the fact that Sony are threatened by Game Pass, and they are putting clauses in there, if this is real, to keep games off of Game Pass. And again, that really doesn't even really bother me, only because the bigger wallet's going to speak in the end. If Microsoft wanted Resident Evil Village to be there in Game Pass, it would have.
No, not necessarily, because they signed that contract. That would
no. But if Microsoft pulled up before them and said, "Hey, we really want this game," and had money in hand, they'd take it.
I don't think so.
I do. Money talks.
The culture is a little bit different over there.
Mm-hmm.
And, Capcom, if you just go by, I don't. The language that's in that contract, it's really confusing, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna just take the developers' words on it, because I don't deal with these type of contracts. But if you do look at the contract, it does kind of make it look like to keep parity due to the advantages that the other console may have. But whatever, for argument's sake, let's just say that that's the way it's supposed to be in the contract. It's just worded that way, and it's strange to us because we're foreign to this type of language. Whatever. Their track record says otherwise. Every game that Capcom has released has always run worse on the Xbox system. Every single time. And knowing how the culture is, how they wouldn't, really bend to an American.
That's not true. We've had games like Devil May Cry that ran better at 120 frames and had higher resolutions as well.
Not in the beginning, though. Not when it first came out. Yeah.
No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a similar
They waited a couple weeks to let the marketing and the word of mouth do its thing.
That Game Pass cause, though, it was really slimy. And I have to agree with you on that point that they are definitely threatened by Game Pass, and there's a smoking gun for that. And instead of being threatened,
they're threatened by it.
You know, there's a saying: if you can't beat them, join them. They have the infrastructure now, thanks to Azure and the help that they're getting from Microsoft, where they can do a similar service for their.
But do they really? Do they really have the infrastructure for it?
Yeah,
I mean, they have a foundation, but could they really do what Microsoft is doing right now?
They could, because they'd pay them to do it. So yes, they could. Yeah. If Microsoft is doing it and they're going to pay them to do it, they could do it. So I think inevitably it is leading down that road. I think they're really reluctant to it. But I think, you know, Dealer asked earlier, how many subscribers do you think it'll have next year? I think if Microsoft
good segue
is you know, strong with their advertising to other companies, and these companies join, you know, they jump on the Game Pass bandwagon or whatever, the hype train, I think they can have maybe up to 40 million. Like it's all it's going to take is a few big major games. And it's just going to solidify the service, and gamers want a game, and if you can game there at a cheaper price and have more variety and have access to more games, I just think the service would grow a lot. And I think Sony does see this. I think they're reluctant, and I think they're going to try to fight it every step of the way. And I don't really understand why, because the Game Pass model, it doesn't force you to subscribe to the service. You can still buy the games. So, you know, if Sony's consumers want to buy the game still, they have that option. If Sony has, like, right now on the PlayStation 4, there's like 100 million users on there. So say they were able to convert half of them, and I think they'd be able to convert more than half of them, because Sony fans apparently support all Sony games. So if they got half of those 50 mil, if they got half of the 100 million, which would be like 50 million, to subscribe to a service that's similarly priced to Microsoft, they'd be making more money than what they're making selling their games individually right now. So I don't understand their hesitant nature on embracing this, but at the same time, I think it's the future, and I think it's inevitable, and I think it's a losing battle for them.
Yeah, I do agree. For me, I would say I would agree with both D and Zonker on this one. I would say anywhere from 35 to 40 million. Well, just because of the fact of what is Game Pass going to bring from the third party. I mean, you can look at a game like that just got pushed back recently out of the blue. I don't know if people noticed it, but that was that Back for Blood game. That kind of reminds everybody for Left 4 Dead. What if that game got pushed back for a fourth quarter release on top with Forza Horizon 5, and then you got Halo, I'm thinking, which will probably come out in November. That would be huge if they do the whole rumors about with Battlefield 6 or anything else with that. I think that's definitely going to push the needle. And then I think also even a little bit before that, like when we starting to get into the summer months, I think that's going to grow too. Because I think, and this is my prediction, I think that because Scarlet Nexus is right after the E3, I think that might be the game that's going to come to be the big game that comes to as well.
Scarlet
and that's going to
Nexus.
generate some people. Mm-hmm.
That one looks funny.
A lot of the same people who naysay Xbox Game Pass and talk about it being a rental service and really talk against it, some of these same guys were happy when EA Access came over to the PlayStation 4. So
I mean, they are rental services, and I don't understand why it's a bad thing. Everyone knows what they are.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just weird to me that they'll champion EA Access coming over, but Game Pass, something like Game Pass, no way.
You know what's weird to me, Fonz, is Karen says, but they still light years away in sales with SELLS. They still light year away in sales.
But at the end of the day, some of these developers will say otherwise.
It's SALES, sir. Okay.
Yeah. If they keep growing Game Pass, sales don't even matter. Console sales don't even matter at that point. I mean,
I don't even give a shit about.
I mean, it
sales,
doesn't matter
okay?
overall, but yeah.
At the end of the day, all I care about is what is coming to me in my living room. What can I play on the service? That's all I care about. And right now, I've got a lot of games on Game Pass that I can jump in and play and have fun with, and that's all that matters.
Yeah,
Facts.
So all I've been playing right now is Game Pass. There ain't crap out there for anything in terms of like new games for me on either console. I mean, this generation has started off slow for me on both consoles, really slow. But that's the way it goes. Every generation, it's pretty slow.
Phil Spencer's in the chat, and he's like, "So Starfield this year or nah?" I don't know if Phil Spencer tell us, man. He has a picture of him too. I'm sorry, I laughed
he's
at
like,
that.
I'm playing this shit right now. I just fucking crashed my Xbox. I'm like 2K. Perfect. We'll launch it like that.
Hell yeah!
Shout out
You
to
thought
Phil Spencer.
Cyberpunk launched bad? Wait till you see this muff.
Hey,
No, K-Mega,
hey,
I'm
Karen,
not
I'm
saying
giving Lethal
games
permission
don't
to go ahead and Thanos you whenever he feels like it. Just so you know.
Yeah. K-Mega, just to answer you, no, Biomutant actually looks pretty cool. There's future games coming that I'm excited for on both consoles, but right now, man, that teabagging's getting to me there. I'm just laughing. Well, it's what you're doing on screen.
I ain't doing it. You can't prove it.
I just saw it. Anyway, yeah, I just think that, right now, as of, today, Game Pass has really saved me in terms of having games for me to play. Because I don't want to play most of these games that are coming out or are out. It's just, they're not interesting to me.
Really?
Well,
like
hey,
Outriders and
asking-
stuff like that?
Say what?
Oh, I beat Outriders. I beat it. It's done.
Oh, okay.
Throw
Oh,
it
yeah.
to the
Oh,
wayside.
I thought you meant like you haven't played like you.
No. I've played games, and of course, again, Outriders was in Game Pass Soccer, so there you have it. Like all the games I've been playing lately have been in Game Pass.
Well, let me go ahead and carry the
That's
discussion
also
forward.
Game Pass.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like I'm just hanging out with the chat. Like,
Yeah.
hey, again, shout out to the chat for tolerating us today. We're really finding discussions in Game Pass I didn't know existed. But also,
I'm looking at our list. We have like 7 subjects to go.
Tim, we could do a little shortcutting a little bit. What you think?
We're shortcutting a lot.
Let's
'cause
do
it's
it.
a long
Shortcut.
show.
Hey, for those asking, this is Wolfenstein. This is Warhammer Vermintide 2 on the Xbox Series X. I'm playing with Assassin Lupa and a few others, and it's a good time. Just in case you're wondering, if you haven't considered the like button, tell a buddy, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know the story. And let's go ahead and move forward some more. Alpha to Game Pass and random topics associated to... we were on the Capcom thing, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and move forward again. We're going to skip the Sony thing. Who gives a fuck? They're rolling TV into PlayStation something. FPS Boost is coming to EA games now, so EA and Microsoft are continuing to sleep in the same sleeping
Very
bag.
cool. I thought that was a very cool announcement.
Which games? Though?
Yeah.
Which games are getting FPS Boost from EA?
Battlefield 4.
Is that getting a
Or-
damn resolution boost? That's what it needs.
Well, yeah, there's probably.
I think it's got the auto HDR.
It does, but I mean, the fucking
I
image
I got the
shimmers
game.
off the
You
screen.
want me to read them off? I got the games right here.
Yeah.
We got Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 5, Dishonored, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Far Cry 4, Mirror's Edge, Catalyst, Super Lucky's Tale, Plants vs. Zombies 1 and 2, and then Plants vs. Zombies Neighborville, Prey,
Neighborville.
Sea of Solitude, Sniper Elite 4, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, and Battlefront 2 is getting 120 FPS on the Series X only. And
no,
then
not the PS5.
Skyrim. That
Ooh.
says Series X only.
Ooh.
Titanfall 2, Titanfall 120 FPS, Series X only
Ooh.
again. UFC 4, Unravel 2, and Watch Dogs 2. And the ones that are 120 on Series X only are Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Battlefront 2, and Titanfall.
Wow.
It's too bad they're all still at 480i.
No, Battlefront 2 looks fucking.
No, a lot of
ridiculous.
them. A lot of them are
Battlefield
like
1, 5, and
Battlefield 1 is X enhanced. It runs
amazing.
it, 40.
Yeah, a lot of those games got X
blurry
enhanced.
as hell. Yeah,
A lot of those got X
Right.
enhances fonts and resolution boosts
Yeah, they look
also.
amazing.
not all of them though. They're
Not all of them.
They
Who
still
said
look
all?
No,
good.
not all of them. I'm just saying some.
Yeah.
of them.
Jesus.
Yeah,
calm
it's,
down.
look, I just
Fonzarelli.
wish that they would upgrade, like, the resolution as well, like
They're
something.
so entitled.
Well, that's something that they were working on, and that's something that Jason Ronald and a couple of the people that were reporting reporting on this were talking about that there's no work on the developer side. Like apparently these Series X patches and all these patches we're getting have been pretty demanding on, like not just demanding, but they have to take resources away from the developers. And Microsoft wanted to cut that out and be like, all right, let's just handle it on our end. All you got to do is say yes, and we'll do it with our program that we've made.
Yeah.
And so they've done it and got these boosts and double frame rate, like double graphic fidelity, like everything's been like insanely like like just insane graphical things that are just for free for us, right? These features are just free for gamers. We just got to turn on our Xbox and play.
I want more of those, Zucker. And
I do. So do I. And that's something that Jason Ronald, remember when they came back, you know, the whole Xbox team in December, right, for the holiday, they needed a break. And they were just like, all right, well, we're back. And, you know, we have a lot of things to announce coming up. And, you know, Jason Ronald even talked about that. And these are those things. And if you don't think they're going to be coming with more, then
they got a resolution. They got a way to scale up resolution, though, automatically, like FPS Boost. And some of those need that.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Yeah. But it's not always possible, Fonzarelli. I'm sorry.
Well, the FPS thing is a little bit more impressive to me because you got to understand, like, the way the game's programmed, like, especially if it's 30, like, you can't move the camera or do these or jagged because it's the way the camera view, right? So the programmers, the people that made the game, have programmed it so you can't see certain parts of the world. It'll just cut out. Like, you know? Like it's the field of vision, the field of view. So,
Zucker, what the fuck are you talking about?
FPS Boost, bitch!
All right, just stop. Hey, I want resolution boost for Battlefield 4. That's still the best Battlefield on Xbox or PlayStation. And
it really is.
Frame rate's already pretty much locked on Series X.
Don't listen to him. He plays NBA.
That's true. I do. If you guys want a ball and do
MLB.
some team up,
just segue. If y'all want a ball, hit me up.
Hey, seriously, Meg, if you want to play some team up, man, we gotta jump on that. It's a blast.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
When it's not exploding my Xbox. So yeah, it still freezes occasionally. But anyway, we gotta move forward. Gotta move forward. We gotta move forward. Gotta keep going. So Tim Dog's really mad. FPS Boost. Then we also Gears Pop is dead. Nobody gives a fuck. Microsoft, please learn from this. Yeah, you can't go play the game anymore. Apparently, Tim Dog. Why the hell did you say that this game would never die in a million years?
I didn't say that. I did play it. I did spend money into it.
Oh shit!
But you know, I mean, I think they were trying stuff. We were talking about this pre-show. We were trying stuff at that time to see what would go on, you know, and hopefully this is, you know, I don't really want developers, unless it's somebody else other than developer, you know, this type of thing where they come out at the same time, you know, it was all right, but, you know, maybe it's better off not happening. And it looks like they shut it down. So did they make money or did they lose money on the whole thing? That's the whole thing. I mean, I don't know.
Do you think McCaffrey tweeted about just kill off Gears Pop and that's why they did it like he did Grounded?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I don't think it was making. I thought they probably wanted it to be more successful, but you know, the mobile field is so different, and so you know, certain games just come out of nowhere. So there's like no rhyme or reason. I think, or at least it's harder over there. But you know, I mean, at that time, I'd rather just see them working on, you know, triple A's and or you know double A's and. You know, staying away from this. I don't really want any kind of development tied to cell phone games.
Rod Ferguson was really adamant about this game too. I remember that. He was like, we need to put it on E3. And I think like he even said that he fought to put it on like the E3 show. And like the marketing people at Xbox were like, no.
Yeah,
and
we
he
probably
still did
shouldn't
it.
let Rod suggest those things ever again, huh?
Well, he's not there.
He will now.
Well, he's not there now.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah,
Xbox to me should more focus on like bringing Guilty Gear Strive and Genshin Impact if they can have the opportunity, you know, to Xbox than cell phone.
Somebody put in quotations like get up here and talk in front of a bunch of people, asshole, and see how it feels. All right, yeah, like it's not. You know, you got to think off the top of your head. Shit, you hear Soccer over here eating carrots, stalling.
First of all, baby carrots are the shit, and I don't got them today. God damn it!
Hey, Double Fine.
You know I'm sad.
Gears Pop is dead, Zucker. Stop crying. Double Fine are doing a little feature-length documentary about creating 4 prototype games. And are these? I mean, somebody was saying these new IP, but Tim, I guess I got to come back to you. Double Fine, they're doing this documentary thing. They want you to watch it. I think it's Thursday.
Yeah, I will definitely watch it. So,
what the hell is this?
Probably just 4 ideas that they probably put out for a game, or maybe their new IP. I think they are coming out with a new IP. I think he said that on Twitter, Tim Schafer. But what I'm getting, remember Xbox did that thing where you vote on a game and they showed it's the studio's now been closed down. I forgot what studio it was, but they like showed you 4 concept games and people would vote on them. This is going back to like 2014. I think it's gonna be something like that. Maybe 4 ideas of that they're putting into play, and obviously they probably choose 1 or 2 if they're depending on how many games. I don't think it's 4 games per se. Just more, the idea and the creation of gaming. Like I said, Tim is very cool. He's a funny guy, and I'm really looking forward to his games. They're going to be probably smaller, but they'll have comedy in them. And he's a good developer. I think that was an underrated signing by Xbox. I think it's going to do. I think Psychonauts 2 is going to do well, and I also think his new IP. And I'm definitely going to. What does it come out Thursday tomorrow? Oh, well, that's draft. But what does it come out Thursday?
Maybe.
Well, I mean, everything for me on Thursday is the draft, but I'll see what's up. But this kind of reminds me of like Cliffy B or whatever, that dude, where he was showing like concepts and things that he's like gone to publishers with, and he was showing art of games that got turned down. Like one of them was like zombies that evolved and can like ride dragons. And like everybody was like, dude, what the hell? And he was showing like concept art of it. I think maybe that's what it is. Like they'll show concept art of like ideas they've had, and then whichever one kind of gain, like, it's kind of a smart thing to do, right? Kind of whatever gains traction. Like you could see like, oh, maybe people are into this, So I don't know. I think that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. James in the chat says, funny how we never used to care about FPS. I don't know if this show we've been talking about frames. I remember talking with K-Meg. I said, I don't give a fuck if it's Uno. I want it to be 60 frames. Like, this is like 2017, 2016. Like, frame rate has been such a big deal. And I'm sure, Mega, since you've been on Series X, you're like, holy shit. Like, it really...
Yeah, I have to eat a little crow because I was like 30 frames per second isn't the big deal, and I mean I don't really trip out about it. No.
Hey, bro, at least you're man enough to.
At least you're admitting. Hang on, let him finish. Let him finish.
Oh, do you want to take his jab?
I just remember our classic battle on that, but go ahead.
I know, yeah. I mean, it got ugly, but yeah, no, that was the thing is that for me, I mean, and I still don't care, but yeah, in the sense of it. Yeah, I have
know it's amazing.
It is very amazing. It is amazing, and I can't wait to get me a television that does 120 frames because I keep hearing from 108 Dragons like, I'm telling you, and stop bragging about it. I got to.
Bro, I ain't even doing it. I ain't even set myself up for that because you're gonna get 120 frames with some games. You go back to 60 and be like, God, this is trash. I'm not going to put 120. Not doing it.
Yeah, you're not going to do it? No, I got to give me another television just so I can. Yeah, I mean, this is the reason why I got the Series X. I mean, that was the one thing.
60 frames, man.
I got the 60 frames, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Long story short, yeah, I got an E-Crow on it. Yes, it is an amazing feature.
The 120 is kind of like a little different from 60, but like I cannot go back to 30. Like it's like that's you can. I'm never doing it. I don't give a shit. Like if they're like play our old game at 30, I'm like nope. I'm not doing it. The hell out of my face with that bullshit. Like
if it's a 30, it's like,
sometimes I'll go back to a 30 frames game, but I don't want to. Like I wish everything was in 60 or higher.
Well, I was telling you guys for the longest time, I stopped playing the Xbox One X maybe like a year and a bit before it went out of existence. I stopped playing it because I just couldn't deal with the 30 frames per second anymore. The 120 frames per second, it is smoother. But it's not like jumping from 30 to 60. Like 60 is the sweet spot, at least. 60 has to be the bare minimum that you play your game. 30, like it's so jarring. Like if you're playing on the Series X and you just by chance go back to your old game and play it at 30 frames, you can't play it. You literally can't play it because now you're used to 60 frames per second and you see how slow and sluggish, and not just the way it looks, the way it plays, the fluidity. It's just not the same, man.
Well, I will admit though, I went all 30 frames. I went all performance mode with Cyberpunk when I beat that. So, and it still, I didn't really trip about that. But yeah, if I could play Ghost of Tsushima in 60 frames per second, yeah, I think that would be a game.
Yeah, I mean,
Isn't it
again,
at
we've been
60?
talking about like 60 frames for years and years on this damn show, and how we can't wait for this to be a standard. But Jaguar cores, right, bottleneck that, and it's finally a thing, so everyone can enjoy it and have a great time with it. Let's move the fuck forward. That'd be great. Shout out to Indie Gamer, by the way. I just saw him in the chat, and Lupa and Beetlejuice in the background. But yeah, Double Fine. Tim didn't say much on it. And I don't really care either, I guess. Forza Horizon 5. This is, I guess, is continuing to be put out there, and man, it's kind of weird because I mean, I like Forza Horizon 4. I feel like I've been there, done that, right? Forgive me, chat. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I don't know what they could do with Horizon 5. And I'm not saying they couldn't do it. I think they could, but I want a motorsport. Why announce motorsport before you drop? You're going to drop for Horizon 5 before you drop Motorsport, even though you announced Motorsport first. If this rumor is true, I'd be surprised, really, if Horizon 5 comes out this year.
I doubt it.
I want Horizon more than I do Motorsport.
Do you think it's because more people are like into Horizon?
I think it's a tooling and a technology thing. Like, I think it's an engine thing. Turn 10 are the ones who lead the technology for the Forza games.
Am I off base by saying that it's become the more popular Forza?
It is the more popular.
It is.
But if Horizon 5 comes out this year, it's on the old engine. Forza Motorsport is not.
Agreed. That is where you're going. It's probably going to be cross-gen. Obviously, Forza Motorsport's going to be the start of next-gen only, technology. But it's I think it's we got to give them that. You got to give them their due. They're a very talented developer. If it's in Mexico, like it's rumored, that's really could be unbelievably gorgeous, and ravines and all just type of stuff that you're driving through, waterfalls, to the
Where's
beach.
this rumor come from, Tim?
Mexico. That rumor has come from, I don't want to misquote or put anything on somebody, but I've heard it's the information coming at Forza Horizon 5 is coming from pretty good sources. So I think Jeff Grubb thinks it's definitely gonna come.
Jazz mentioned Mexico also.
Jazz mentioned Clobrel, I believe, mentioned it.
Yeah, so that means it's probably happening.
So there's a lot of people that are really good at this stuff, like predicting stuff or hearing stuff, and it makes sense because they were a 2-year development team, and they were getting it done, and they were getting 90s in Metacritic and handling it. Now you're on the 3rd year. I just think it's kind of like a cherry on top, though. If Xbox gets Halo, Horizon Starfield, 5, and this, it's just
I think the critics will hammer this game if it doesn't do something like substantially different, which sucks. But I mean, it'll be good for the fans.
It could take a hit. It could take a hit like that, like where it drops to the 80. It's still going to be an 8. It's still going to be a real.
Still be a good
game. I think the extra year. I think the extra year development didn't come because do something different. I think that it's a little bit of a you have an extra year, do something a little different, but I think it was more to do with the pandemic.
Yeah,
COVID. So they were on that 2-year cycle, and they probably had it they had plans to bring it out last year, but obviously didn't happen, and they probably were looking forward to making it a Series X launch title. And now that COVID, it's like, hey man, we just got to adjust, and hopefully the extra year of time and them working from home like most people are, they adapted and are able to add a couple more things that were not in the top priority. Right, like that's how you make things. You have priority 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully, they grab some of those things that they had ideas for and are able to implement them in the game and make it a little different.
I was thinking if something like this was to come out, that'd be DLC. So this is like surprising to me to find out that it's a new game, especially when they did announce the other Forza. And I think you guys probably figured it out. It's probably due to the COVID. I think maybe development's a little bit behind, and I think, like you guys said, they had a lot of development on the Forza Horizon series, and they probably have something that's ready to go. So if it pads, the holiday lineup, then that's a good thing for Xbox. It's a good thing for GamePass. It's a good thing for gamers. I just hope it looks good, and I hope they add some new stuff, because I was looking forward to the new Forza because of the new engine and utilizing the next generation consoles fully. So I'm a little disappointed in that sense, but at the same time, Forza Horizon It's an amazing series. Mexico, I do think would look pretty cool. I was hoping that it'd be in Tokyo or something. I think a lot of people were looking forward to a different locale like that. And if that's the case, if they're going to do it in Mexico, that's fine. I just think that the next iteration, it'd be great if they did something like on a world scale where you're in different parts of the world, not just one region. Like you have a huge map in one region of the world and you go like Tokyo, London, whatever. I think like Forza Horizon World, something like that. I think that should be the evolution for the franchise.
Somebody said in chat, flight sim tech, like Earth generation technology, right? But with Forza, but that, you'd be driving around running over cardboard cactuses probably. But yeah, go ahead, Mega.
Well, I was just going to say, I think Forza Motorsport's going to be absolutely ridiculous. I think you've given, 4 years now of turn 10 skill behind this game. And I think what Dee was alluding to, I think that they're going to do that. They're going to start implementing dirt tracks. They're going to, be all over the world because there was tracks that were missing. I think that they might even have like maybe certain tracks like they did the Dubai track that wasn't a real track. I think they might do more of those because that was a popular track for a lot of people. I think what they have in store is going to be something like on a huge scale that's going to be somewhere where you're looking at in Horizon will be, I think just the different locations and how clever and how smooth their game is. I think people just love it as is. Just add a couple of things here, a couple of things there, and don't really, go overboard until, some people will be asking for, just bring it back the old way. I think Horizon can just stay in the same place and still get an 88 to a 90 to a 92 easily.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't. I don't think it would fall much as long as it's polished,
Right.
But some people say fuck Metacritic, but no. Like, I'm tired of getting shitty. I want some positive, highly. There's a reason these same people are like, it was a 92, fuck you, like on Twitter when Horizon 4 came out. Like, who the hell wants a bad rated game? Don't you want a little bit of hype? And I'm not saying it's gotta be high rated to like it. No one said that. It's not the same thing. I liked Ryse. That was a 60. I liked Ryse quite a bit, really. It was a good story. So, I mean, again, I just want more hype for the brand. I want that positivity, and I want them to build the best product they can build, though Metacritic's not always indicative, like Days Gone. I thought Days Gone was more of an 8, not a 7, somehow. But, yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. It's okay. We don't always agree. And if I want motorsport, I want motorsport, damn it. It's been, what, how many years? 4 years this year.
It's been 4 years. And I think that's why they announced motorsport, right, first, because they knew that people have been wanting it, and they're like, man, we need to at least say something about it, because they probably know it's a little ways away. And hey, man, that's if that's what it is, and like you said, they lead the tech,
but they're testing it. They're testing it. They got people outside the studio playing the damn game. They were supposed to be at GDC last year in 2020, helping developers understand ray tracing in Xbox Series X. They did a video about that. They've already talked about how they've already talked about it last year. Play testing this now, it feels radically different. How they're simulating the different oxygen thickness in different regions, and they've released a surprising amount of detail on this stuff a year ago. So it's kind of, I don't know. Who knows?
Well, sometimes shit changes, man, in software development. Changes. Like who knows, man? Who knows what happened? Or maybe, the pandemic hit them harder, who knows?
Could be. And they were helping Halo. Like, Halo had like 1,000 developers on it at once, Halo Infinite. So a lot of those guys were working on Infinite too. So that's always fun. But anyway, I guess
hell yeah.
I guess I could read a few of these real quick. Hectic World. Oh, nope, already got that one. Let me go and skip down here. Tim, I don't know if you're looking through these topics, but you can kind of pick one or two of these, and we can go over the annual stuff, and I'll look in a second, but you can get ready for that. We can hammer that. Tony Bryant says, lies dealer is always on fight night. I'm talking 3 a.m. LOL, knocking heads off. Shout out to Husk too, by the way. Husk is in the chat room to say hi. He actually beat my ass about half the time last night, so he figured out a little trick. And I had to learn how to go fight against it. It was a lot of fun. And then we got Darkest Hero. He says, same ponies who clown games with gold and GamePass champion the PS Plus games. Yeah, they do. Not surprised. D, we've got one. Dan Lanza says D, question mark. Sony 7 out of 10 films. Pixel. Oh, okay. He likes the. I don't know if he's going. If he's rooting for the films, he's talking about Paul Blart, Ghostbusters 2016. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. And then Hitman. Not to mention the Amazing Spider-Man, but I didn't like those. You know, the ones after Toby. A Hitman. Shout out to you. He says makes sense.
Except for the last one.
He says makes sense. Microsoft see success in Game Pass. They will invest big. Just keep to the dominance in early game. So he's agreeing with you, Zucker. He's saying that they're going to try to gather as much steam as possible before anyone else can get off the line, which is a good plan.
Yep.
He's saying buying EA 12. Hey, EA, Take-Two, Sega. Yeah, I don't know about any of that. That'd be pretty insane. I don't know what we do. They already got Bethesda. That was nuts. Nano Polymath. He says, Hogue. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. Hogue pointed out about that one instance. Doesn't mean I'm lost in the topics now. We've waited too long, Nano. I'm sorry. I don't even know what this is about. And then we got one from Brap. Hogue Law. Okay, yeah. Has a great video breaking this down. So this is back on the Resident Evil topic. So check out Hogue Law. And then Kendrick Kinect was awesome. And I don't know, man. I don't care how much it sold. I wouldn't say it's a success. But yeah, we're not hating. You know that. We're playing. And then last one, Lord Starkiller, 35 million Game Pass subs by February 2022. 2022? It might be past that, 2022. Maybe not. Agree with Zalker in his analysis. There you go. Baby cares win.
Hell yeah, I do.
Now we can go ahead and move forward. And yeah. Hey, did you know Obsidian are apparently developing 3 games right now, Zalker?
Yeah, hasn't there been a rumor for like the longest time that they're making multiple games and that they're finally like kind of given like the power to do what they want to do without needing to keep the lights on, right?
Well, there was a creative director, and she basically confirmed that she was leading the game, and then there were 2 other people, I think, leading the game. Unless I got that confused with another studio, but I don't think.
No, they have Drew Sawyer's game. They have Grounded. They have Avowed.
What do you call it? Outer Worlds.
Yeah, Outer Worlds of pre-production, and they also have. You would know this, Walker. It's a PC game. Pillars, maybe.
Oh, Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah, they still have that IP that kind of needs to be finished off.
Isn't Avowed based on that game, Pillars of Eternity? Like that world?
It might be. I
think because they have a lot of lore and a lot of like history and stuff that they have written in there. They've built a really robust, dense, like basically world in there. Yeah. So that's what they're trying to do with they're pushing it to Avowed, like kind of like what Blizzard did with Warcraft. Right. How they had a very dense history there, and then they pushed it to World of Warcraft and expanded on it even more. So that's what I think they're trying to do with Avowed and Pillars of Eternity. I could be wrong, but Obsidian isn't the only like developer talking. Didn't the guy from In Exile say like he teased yesterday? He was saying that he can't wait for people to see the game that they're making.
Well, I've seen the prototype to that game. Well, some drawings of it, and if that's the actual man, it looks amazing. It looks like cyberpunk. Like ridiculous, just man. I love Wasteland 3 so much, man. I cannot wait to see what they.
Did you see
play that DLC?
Did you see one of the fans said, "Hey, is it in GoFundMe?" And he was like, I just, or do you need funding? Because I feel good that I helped fund Wasteland or Wasteland 3. He's like, kind of like my little bit helped. And the guy responded, he goes, "Nope, we're part of Microsoft and Xbox now. We don't need any of that."
He said, "GoFundMe, get the fuck out of here."
Wow.
Or whatever, like a cool little fun or fan funding.
I was acting like I was a developer, part of Microsoft.
You're such an asshole.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. They're able to do what they want to do. I don't think they want to expand a whole lot though. Like I saw an interview where they didn't want to grow. Like he was saying they didn't want the team to grow much, and I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I gotta eat dinner and run to work, so I gotta go. But I enjoyed my time tonight, man. It was awesome here. Guys, follow me at Fonz Really Gaming. And
check out his last stream. Check out his last stream, everybody.
All right, man. Later, guys.
All right, brother.
Later, Fonz.
Check out Fonz at Fonz Really Gaming, YouTube, Twitter. You can find my tweet about the show and find him on there. And check out his last stream. Also, K-Mega, we got Ryse 2. This has been rumored for, I don't know how, 5 years?
Yeah.
I need Ryse 2 because I like Ryse 1. I want armor, I want customization, and I want more in-depth combat. And I just thought that Crytek actually made a pretty decent game, but everybody had a twin and like a quadruple twin, and everyone looked the same in the game. You just murdered the same guy over and over. But other than that, I mean, the game is beautiful. The story was surprisingly good.
Yes.
Ryse 2. What do you think?
Oh man, I would be all for that. And I don't really want to hear about looking at the same creature or a person over and over again because I couldn't tell you how many trolls I fought that was just a different color.
Hey, come on now. Let's make the guy wear different color clothes. Shit.
That's the truth. But yeah, I mean, that was look, you're absolutely right. They need to do that. But yeah, they have to. Yeah, man, come on, Microsoft, please. I mean, that and Quantum Break are the games that
Hell no.
Quantum Break, Ryse, Killer Instinct 2, make it happen. I've told Phil this a million times about Killer Instinct, but please bring us Ryse. If I had to choose between the two, between Quantum Break and Ryse, it's very close. It's 1A, it's 1A, 1AB, whatever. But I have to go with Ryse 2. Please, man, work that out with Crytek so we can get that game.
Well, apparently this is going to be multi-platform according to this.
Yeah,
because remember, Microsoft they didn't own the IP, right?
Yeah, right. That was the rumor, so I have no idea. But I think that was one of the situations why they had the falling out in the first place because I think Microsoft wanted to own the IP and then they refused or whatever. But yeah, I think that Xbox doesn't have a lot of hack and slash first party games, and I think that would be an amazing game, especially with the lore of what they did with the first one. And I understand because of the ending, you might have to do something different, or they can make it a prequel, whatever, however they would want to do it.
Hey, just take it to a different place, a different civilization, and you play as a samurai, right? It's Ryse or whatever, right? It's just a different civilization or whatever.
That's literally what I was thinking of. Like when I played the game at the end, you kind of like ascend into like God, right? Like, like you kind of like the story's really cool. So like, why not have like Ryse, son of Japan, or Ryse, son of Rome, Ryse, son of whatever, like Norway or whatever, Scandinavia, like
Ryse,
go Viking,
Cleveland.
Like you can just change like how what Ubisoft is doing with their games now, with the Assassin's Creed. Like, I mean, they can do the same thing with Ryse. So yeah, I would love to see that game coming. If it's a multi-plat, listen, I'm buying it. Is what it is. I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to buy it on the Series X, and I'm going to have a good ass time with it.
Hell yeah!
Can't wait.
Hell yeah!
I hope this is true. I've been talking about Ryse, like just getting a sequel and everything for the longest time because I loved the first one. Like I like it's one of my favorite Xbox One games, and just bring
that bitch on Series X. That's what I think,
dude. That game is still amazing looking. Like if you get that shit in 60 or 120 at 4K. Ooh-wee.
Oh, if they had a patch to that. Oh,
yeah, that game on PC to this day.
Delicious.
And I don't give a shit if it's multi-plat. Just give it to me.
Yeah,
don't care. I'll get it. I don't give a shit. Like
play weapons, armor, the whole thing.
Microsoft to give that bag though to go ahead and just keep it exclusive, or Xbox PC. But if they can, or if Crytek won't, that's absolutely fine. I'm cool with that either way.
But what about
T'Challa
the
just got
Xbox
me.
guys out there though? Shout out to them. The ones that are always talking about one and done games though, right? Like Ryse is the epitome of that according to their own definition. That's why I never liked that shit, like one and done. Uncharted is a one and done. No, it's not. If that's the case, Quantum Break's a one and done. Ryse is a one and done. Those are great games,
I just think the connotation
Quantum Break
of one
I
and
didn't
done
like, but I like Ryse.
Like the connotation.
Nah, I didn't care for it. I got 800, 900 points in it. Like I played the hell out of it. I just didn't really care for it.
You just didn't care. I thought it was amazing. I like the story better than I do Control, but I mean,
Control's map alone is like.
But Controls, of course, it's an older game. It performs better than it does. Quantum Break does. But I thought the story was just so out there, so original. And that's the stuff that I think that a lot of Xbox gamers or Xbox centric gamers like to see is more creativity. Give us something a little bit different. Not so much bro shooter. Give us some fighters. Give us a little bit of this and that. And that's why I feel like even with Recore, even though it just didn't gravitate to a lot of people, I still thought that was a cool game. It still needed a better budget. But hey, Sony used to do this all the time. They used to kind of force these games down your throat until you liked them. I know these games have bigger budgets, but man, come on, Microsoft, give these games, give these games from the first generation an opportunity to shine again.
Well, Microsoft, I'm just going to throw this out there if you're listening, like if you want creativity, don't go to Remedy. All right, moving on.
Woo! Well, they'll make a really bad map. That's what I know.
They'll make a really bad map or a really bad performing game or just something and take forever. And I don't give a shit, man. Make a good game, then I'll like you.
Well,
moving on.
This is harsh.
Yeah, dude. I played Quantum Break.
You just threw me an alley-oop. I'm not even going to take it.
I know.
Hey, Frank says, Frank, by the way, says, love the podcast, and I'm an Xbox guy, but, hating on Returnal, but talking about, who was hating on Returnal? Bonds didn't, he said it wasn't for him.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't even know what it looks like.
To me. Yeah, it looks cool.
No, Fonz was saying he doesn't care for it.
Yeah, I haven't played it. How the hell would I know, right? So,
hey, man, he gets to have his opinion.
I didn't say he couldn't. I'm talking about me. Shit.
God damn it, dealer! Stop getting on Fonz's case.
All right, we need more baby carrots in here. Tim Dog, tell us about these damn quarter 3 thingamabobbers.
Oh, they had a really good quarter.
Doing his taxes.
Yeah,
they're up over 200 and I think it was 25%.
Hardware revenue up 232%.
Yeah, 32%.
Game revenue
all
up 50%.
I can tell you this: listen, the numbers are so good. Xbox is confident, and I just feel like when you get days like this, that they're very high on Xbox from the people that it was like more and more these investor calls. You're getting more talk about Xbox, and you can see Amy Hood and Satya have been very positive about it. They're mentioning it more and more. So today was just a really good day for Xbox because they got all these numbers, and it's definitely showing everything is going in the right direction. And this is the stuff that gives confidence to people like Satya and Amy Hood for Xbox. And when that happens, I just feel like when you get these type of things that it's just something shortly after that happens, or they're hungry to make purchases. And I think that they look to do Discord. It fell through. But I could see some other big stuff happening. It's just a gut feeling. I could see them just throwing money around because, as Zorka pointed out, that's complete. Probably their idea is to get out so far ahead that you either get the competition to copy you and be in just where they don't make money, or just give up and say they're going to claim that revenue. And I think Xbox can smell that. I think that they've been like this, but just days like this are the days that they just say Satya calls Phil and says, what are you looking to invest in? What can we do? Let's put our minds together. And then Phil says, well, there's this and this and this. There's a studio, this studio, or this publisher, or this IP, or this, so and so. And I think they're trying to be creative for growth. And that's something that we just never had as Xbox fans. And it was a dream 5 years ago to be in this position, but here we are. And like I said, today's news is just more good news. It's good news for Xbox. And for the health of Xbox. People said Xbox was dead. That's now a stupid joke, but overall, it's a confidence that they're still going to invest and they're still going to push to make Xbox better. So that's what I took from today. Xbox people very confident.
Yes,
and it looks like they're going to have a record year overall.
They another one, Tim. Another one. They're dying, but they're doing better than ever, and everyone's starting to copy their shit. Hey, again, I got to plug this real quick. Husk, no word. That's why you're still in the chat. He said hashtag here comes Debo. We're doing a Fight Night Champion tournament. Yeah. It's not on PlayStation 4 or 5. It's on Xbox though. So if you got an Xbox One or X or S or Series S or X, you can play with us. You can join the tournament. and a bunch of people fighting it out in Fight Night Champion. And check one of my posts, check one of Husk's post on Twitter. We are taking feedback. We want your feedback on some of the rules and stuff like that. So if you want to fight us, jump in the party and talk to us, fight with me and Husk and the whole tournament, then please hit us up or hit Husk up on Twitter. He's running this whole thing from the guys at Gaming Beyond the Box. Wimmy Hood and those guys, they're awesome. So I just wanted to throw it out there. If you're into Fight Night, it's definitely going to be a thing. But yeah, Tim's correct. They are doing very well. Hardware revenue up 232%. Game revenue up 50%. Xbox content and services up 34%. And this is supposed to be Colt's topic, but he decided to have a hemorrhoid flare up. So be sure and tweet at him about that and ask him how that is. And
Raise
of course,
up his booty cheeks, man.
Yep. And I know why you did it now. I get it. But seriously, Zalker, pretty impressive considering, hey, Xbox is dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, I didn't know 32+% on hardware is dead. This is just, everybody knew it was coming. We've talked about it. Like, yeah, the revenue's up, the services are up, everything is up. Like, that's, the launch of a generation, but also, that's just what Xbox was expecting. But the services is up also, I think, almost 40%. So, like, they're growing at a really good, steady rate. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to keep coming, man. That's all it is. And once they start, like I've said before, once they start dropping the games, like the actual first party, AAA games in Game Pass, the console sales are going to go up, the subscriptions are going to go up, revenue is going to go up, and then they're just going to pump more money into gaming. And, I don't think they're going to just buy one studio anymore. I think they're going to start looking at publishers, things that can run themselves. And yeah, that's it's kind of how I see it. I don't see the one studio no more. Like, sure, they might. Who knows? Could be wrong, and who cares? Like, if they bring a studio in, great. But I think they're going for publishers and pretty big things.
They do
the
big
Bethesda
things.
thing might be. Yeah, the Bethesda thing might be the just the tip of the iceberg. People, we don't know what they're doing.
You never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Hey,
man, I want to hear more from you, sir.
Sir, what do you want me to say? Look at this stuff. Come on, it's percentages.
I was talking to K-Mega.
Oh,
you got carrots
I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what the hell?
No, I said K-Mega, and somebody said D sounds high. But, yeah. I said, K-Mega, I want to hear more from you, sir. I want to hear some nice positive talk about these nice positive numbers.
Man, it's like what we said. I mean, we've been saying this for a very long time. Look, man, I mean, Xbox was supposed to be dead, and we said, look, I remember when people were talking about the Kraken was lacking, and then all of a sudden now you look 4 years later, 20 million plus players.
The Kraken was lacking, though, just for the record.
It was very lacking, but the game was still cracking. So, yeah, it was great. It was great. So, I still play Sea of Thieves for one point in time. Anyway, these are really positive numbers. It just shows that a generation can change anything. We were talking about Nintendo was about to move on, about to turn into Sega.
Yep. PlayStation
at the beginning of last gen seemed to be in trouble, had all those layoffs and all of that, and then look at what happened with the PlayStation 4. I mean, they were up there to almost to the tier of the PlayStation 2. And I think personally that this will be the best Xbox generation that they will ever have. So I agree. And so it just comes to show that they were smart. They did their due diligence, and they paid attention to what the gamers wanted. And on top of that, gave us things that gamers didn't even know that they wanted. When you talk about the value and Game Pass and then xCloud and all of that, it's just a positive all the way around. And anybody who's a gaming fan should be happy that the big three are all doing really well, because Nintendo is doing fantastic. PlayStation is, even though they're going through a slow period right now, they still will do well. And now Xbox is now flexing their muscle, and that's a really good sign for growth in gaming.
They got them steroids.
Hey, did you say Debo earlier? Yeah, that's how they're coming in. Yeah. Everybody putting them chains up. So
Microsoft's coming out like Debo.
Yeah, they were riding on a little ass bike with a little swing. You know what I'm saying? A golden swing.
When they leave, I'll be talking again.
Oh my God! Microsoft, bitch. What'd you say?
What'd you say?
Yeah.
But no, they're just doing fantastic stuff, man. You just shout outs. It was just, I think we said this before we started the show. It was like everybody was talking about, Fire. I maybe said at the beginning of the show, Fire Aaron Greenberg. Remember all that?
Ooh.
What do you think now?
When he spent all the money for marketing on waffle makers back in the day?
Yeah. They had a budget, crazy, not even a real
Terry
budget
Myerson.
and all of that. Now you see everything that they're doing. Sarah Bond, all the rest of these people. Phil and Matt Booty and all these guys, they're doing a fantastic job, and you can't say enough for what the Xbox is doing. And I think it's just going to keep on rolling all generation long. And I think this is going to even be a longer generation, probably around the same as PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360. So this might be a good long ass kicking.
It should. It should be a long generation because the hardware is so balanced, right? I want to hear from D, and I want something substantial, D, but I got to say something first. Because I just got to. For those that are actually still listening to us talk about this stuff, thank you guys for checking us out. If you haven't hit the like button, I got to say it 47 times a show. And, of course, tell a friend. We do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Dirt Greedy, I also wanted to give him a shout-out. I'm going to be on his show sometime soon, and he needs to come back on here, actually. It's been a minute. Dirt says, I was told Xbox is dying, dead, on life support, not sustainable, but it seems to be okay. And, yeah, it's doing better than ever. That's, you know what, Dirt, I don't know what the problem is with these people. I don't even bitch about it no more. I'm so used to it. We could just it's easy to make videos about how stupid a lot of this logic is, but it's like not even worth the time anymore, man. I don't even know. I just keep up the good work, brother. You're doing good things. And tell Sean and them I say hi. But D, I want your thoughts on these numbers and everything that you haven't fucking said over the last 30 minutes.
Well, the numbers are really good, man. 232% on hardware revenue, game revenue 50%, and the content and services. And like I said earlier, with the games that are coming down the pipeline and the momentum that GamePass is getting, things are only going to go up. Like, people, listen, you're only as good as your last generation, right? So the last generation, Microsoft lost. They lost that generation. They made a lot of missteps. And it is what it is. This is a new generation, and they're doing all the things that they need to do. And K Mega's right. In the beginning, it was like, yo, fire this guy, fire that guy. Oh, this is garbage. What are they doing? And you're seeing that it's a winning formula. People are talking about Xbox in a good light. And when was the last time that you heard journalists, media, gamers alike, and casual gamers talking or saying good things about the Xbox brand? They haven't. So they're definitely going in the right direction. I think they're gaining a lot of traction. They're getting a lot of mind share. And I think the sky's the limit. I think once we start to see these new technologies be adapted by developers in the games, and we start to see the power that this system has, coupled with the exclusive games that are coming down the pipeline, coupled with the third-party deals going into Game Pass, I think it's going to be a really, really good generation. And also, too, before you were talking about the Ryse 2 that was rumored to be in development. If Ryse 2 comes out, it will be a smashing success. That is one game that it got kind of ravaged by the reviewers, but everyone that played it liked the game. And especially at the time when it came out, it was
looked amazing.
It could get
player was underrated,
dude. It was, yeah. You had the Coliseum move.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It could get a little bit repetitive at time, but like King Mega said earlier, there's a lot of games that are freaking repetitive over time, right? Overall, it was a good game. It was a good story. When I completed that game, I was attached to the character, and I enjoyed the game, man. It was a fantastic game, and I think Ryse 2 would be a smash hit with Xbox gamers, and I think it would spur up a lot of interest from non-Xbox gamers, because it has such a history and such a notoriety to the original game, that I think gamers would just say, hey, let me see what this game's about. Let me see what all the hype was about initially. Let me see if this game is trash or whatever. I think it would generate a lot of interest. So I hope that rumor is true, and I think Xbox is going in the right direction. Like, people don't realize the significance of the announcements that were made last week at the GameStack event. There was so much shit in there that there was just too much for me to cover, to be honest with you. There is so many tools coming to the Series devices And once developers start to utilize this stuff, it's going to be incredible. Every generation, we get wowed a little bit by the third-party games as usual, and the generations kind of start off a little bit slow. Then, like in the second year, third year, that's when we really start to see what these machines are capable of. And people get on me all the time, but the Xbox Series X has a lot of features that the PlayStation 5 simply does not have. And I don't want to hear that argument that the multiplayer, that these games are performing better and this and that. We already know the reason why. This has been said several times. You don't have to believe the panel. It's been said by actual developers that are developing for that console. It's been said many times that the tools just, they came in a little bit hot. And if you watched GameStack, if you're like interested in the technology and you watched GameStack, you would see that these tools are here and there's even more to come. And I'm really, really excited for the Xbox brand and for gamers alike. I think it's going to be a really good generation for both consoles, man.
Hell yeah.
I totally agree. Totally.
Every time we bring up that stuff, it's like so hard not to just go in.
I
It's
know.
so hard not to go in. But, at the end of the day, like, hey, buy a little bit of time and have a little bit of fun. It's not a big deal. I've got somebody called me a shill in the super chat. Speaking of, I got some shirts. Let me pin this shit real quick. Hey, I've updated some of these, right? So we've got a ton of different colors, and this is a cool one here. Zocker, watch this. Watch this, Zocker. Look at that shit. That's a pretty neat one. And if you look at that one, that actually wraps around to the back of the shirt. Right?
That's fire.
That shit's fire. And you can get that in blue, red, green, or the color of your favorite octopus. Right? It comes in a bunch of colors, like the base color, not just black. So all those shirts are available in a ton of base colors. The designs are set, and that's why there are multiple colors of the designs. And again, if you haven't checked out the store, maybe you checked it out when it first launched. Trust me, it's a lot better now, and it's a learning thing, right? So,
I gotta just say, I like how you were called the shield, and you're like, all right, bitch, well, here we go, shirts.
oh yeah. No, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was kidding around, but if you weren't, there you go. So yeah,
Is that suede?
that is fucking amazing. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
What is that, velvet?
That's some, that's the shit Jordans are made out of.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
It's clean though. I have to admit that is clean.
It is pretty clean. Yeah? There's a ton of them. There's a ton of them. There's all kinds of different stuff that we've shifted things around from when it launched. So check it out if you haven't, guys. Thanks for supporting the show. And again, we've been here just like K-Meg. K-Meg has been here for 4 years. We've been here for 4 years, and we've been talking about how great stuff is coming. It's came, right? The hardware came, right? Just like we all thought and knew it would. The streaming eventually came, just like we all thought and knew it would. The games had come a little bit. We got Gears 5, Horizon, stuff like that. But yeah, admittedly, we're still complaining about software, but we know they're building a ton of games. What can you do? Now we're told not to be excited for the games that are coming because they're not here. Well, all others are excited for God of War 2022. So what do? Like, it's double standards left and right. I'm pretty excited for the future of gaming, and I can't wait to get out of this damn pandemic so I can just get this fog off of me. I don't know what's up. So let us know how you guys are holding up, and seriously, thanks for tuning in. You make the show. Hit the like button if you haven't. Check out the links to the merch down below, and thanks to the channel members, the patrons, and to K-Mega for coming on, man. It's good having you on.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Check out GRG. Everybody here, check out GRG. I did their last show. Check that out. And seriously, thanks for coming on, Mega. Tell people what you've been playing, man, and where can people find you.
Oh man, right now I'm finna play some of this Battlefield 5. I might stream it here a little bit, but yeah, you can come check me out on this week. I mean, my boy Xbox 448. That man, we've been doing this ever since for 6 years now. The next podcast on the Xbox 448 channel is still going strong.
Damn, 6 years, huh?
6 years, right? And so we're doing every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central, but I think it's like 8 p.m. Eastern, something like that, or whatever. You always call it the Lord's time, but I doubt that. But but anyway, GRG every Friday night, 8 p.m. I was naming the people earlier, but man, come check us out. Give us a shot, man. I think that you'll like what you hear, especially when my mic is working. And so everything else,
we figured it out, though.
Yeah, but we figured it out. But yeah, come check us out, and also come check me out every Sunday night. I stream on Twitch at Kmega405 on Twitch, and we have this thing called Fight Night Sundays. It's not Fight Night where you boxing, but it's all different types of boxing. All different types of fighters. We play anything from Jump Force, from Tekken to Street Fighter. If it's a fighter that everybody can get into, that we can all play, definitely come and join us and watch and just be entertained, because there's a lot of shit talking and it's just real fun, and it's all in the spirit of because we love fighters. So yeah, and then Devin the Gamer, me and Don do that every other Tuesday. And every other Tuesday. So come and check this out. That is 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, 10 p.m.
Damn, forgot what your show was. Shit.
Man. I do so much. Anyway, so I'm like James Brown over here, man. I'm trying to do stuff all the time. But man, yeah, other than that, thank you. Yeah. So come and check us out, man. Thank you for having me on. Come support. It was great to be on, man. Hopefully I'll get the invite again, man.
Of course. Yeah, Nanopolymath's right. Clean doesn't mean it's clean. I didn't wash them. They're still dirty. It just means the design is nice. It's nice. It's minimalist. You hear? So, shout out to everybody. Again, Others Inc., Nano, Husk, and, try to shout out a lot of people that didn't super chat, right? Because every single one of you guys are awesome. So, thank you. Zalker, please tell people where they can find you, man. What have you been playing?
You guys find me on Twitter at Zalker87, YouTube Zalker87. Been playing the shit out of Outriders, doing expeditions now. Beat the game. Gonna go back and do all the side missions because I think I missed a couple. I don't know how.
Hit me up. I'm on expeditions, but I'm just trying to find some other people who's trying to get who's at.
Yeah, I'll hit you up with me and my buddies have been playing. Two of my buddies we've been playing, and one of my buddies is like really far. He's like Expedition 15 or whatever.
Man, I played with King David and them. Man, it was ridiculous. They were over there, and I'm like, "What up, man? Where you at?" I thought I was far ahead. He was like, "Oh no, bro, no."
No, dude. Some people are just playing like crazy.
Yeah, there was nuts, but yeah. So hit me up, man. No doubt.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I got Outriders. I'm gonna play Returnal. I'm gonna check it out. I've been playing Bulletstorm again, the edition. I bought it on sale, so we'll see how that goes. And obviously Rocket League and stuff like that. I've been playing a lot of games, man. I don't know. I have a lot of achievement points this month. I've been having a lot of achievement points because of Game Pass. I've just been playing everything. I just try it, and I'm like, I like this. Oh, and MLB The Show. Dude, home run derbies all day. I don't know. I just fucking love it. So, that's what I've been playing. And, check me out. Chat, you guys are the best. Love doing the show. Dealer, thanks for having me on again. Thanks, everybody. And K-Mega, thanks for coming on, man. It was great, actually, talking to you in the podcast. I don't think I've done that yet, so it's been great.
No doubt. Thank you so much, man. I hope that I can just reach out to you guys and y'all can come on GRG if y'all have time. It'd be great, man. It'd definitely great.
Yeah, Zucker. Shit, you need to do some guest spots.
Damn, time. Dude, I don't have time, son.
Spread yourself out, man.
Yeah, fly.
Damn, don't tell me to spread things, D, you weird bitch.
I didn't need to go that way.
I know it didn't need to go that way. I'm sorry, Chad.
Yeah, that's nightmare fuel
not
for
sorry,
you.
Chad.
You're gonna have nightmares for 3 nights now.
I'm okay with this.
Hey,
you in your dreams, dealer.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Moving on.
Flame got called a shill, so let me pin my shirts. Yeah, exactly. I'll feed into it. I don't give a fuck. I figure I could ask D-Batch, what have you been playing, brother? And where can people find you?
Playing COD as usual. Just when I get some spare time, you can find me at Twitter, D_Batch. Follow if you're trying to find yourself a console or trying to find yourself a GPU or just a great deal on some type of tech. I post a lot of shit there. You can follow my content on YouTube at D-Batch. Put a video up last week. That's a first in like 3 weeks. So I should be putting up another video this week, so you can pop by there. It was nice having you on, K-Mega. We go way back, man. All three of us here, man. We go way back, man. So it's good to see you up in the mix on the show. And man, I hope to have you on again, of course.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And then we got Tim Dog, brother. I know you're dead, but tell people where they can find you, man, and what you've been playing.
I'm alive, brother. Well alive.
It's like a fucking
you can find me on xCloud, Tim Dog on Twitter. I've been playing the show. It's been awesome. Great to have K-Mega, fellow podcast panel on BGST. Definitely a good guy, somebody that I met several times. Looking forward to meeting again and hanging out with if we ever get out of this pandemic state of mind. But great show tonight. Thanks for everyone who showed up. And we will see you next week, or at least I'll see you next week.
Yeah, and Colt, I think I mentioned Colt. Yeah, I mentioned Colt in here. Colt will be back next week, I guess. He was supposed to be here this week, so I know somebody asked where he was. I don't know. I haven't got a chance to ask, but yeah, he had to back out last minute, so hopefully everything's good there. Again, chat, thank you. And you can find me at dealer_gaming on Twitter, _dealer _II on Xbox Live, here on YouTube. Subscribe, bell icon, all that stuff. And remember, Fight Night Tournament, follow ACS Husk on Twitter, and we'll be doing that. So if you want to game with us, have some fun, play some Fight Night, get fucked up by getting punched in the face, of course, then that's where we'll be. So we will see you guys next week. Thanks for listening. We're out.
Later, everybody.
Peace.
Don't sign any bad contracts.